regardless of the fact, right?
Not necessarily. Like, let me explain. Okay, so there was a case. What was it?
But
Last
before
year,
you
two
explain, let
years
me
ago.
just do this. Let me just
Yeah.
do this chat real quick. Kim West, Shadow. I know you're not gonna let this blasphemy slide. Get on them.
I sent it to your Instagram too, Sharon. So you got a link in the Instagram.
All right, I'm gonna check it right now. Thank you.
There was a case with Travis Rudolph, if you remember that. Some dudes came to his house over some other stuff, beat him up on his front porch. That was all on porch cam and everything else. He goes in the house, you know what I'm saying, gets his semi-automatics, chases them when they're driving away, and there's a fatality, and he wounded somebody else. He beats it in court, does not have to take the stand, but he doesn't get off because of stand your ground. He gets off because of the castle doctrine. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. That's different. It's not the same. And this is not one of those types of cases. That's my point. So we can bring all of that stuff up, but they're like you're bringing the law into play. You know what I'm saying? But, the law in different states is going to handle things different ways in different situations.
So can we bring the law into place real quick?
See, I can't get a word in. Can I get my little back and forth? Then you got a Shadow from there, for real. But you got two other states, cases in the state for boy killing a boy in the bathroom. And then another one where he actually takes out a boy, I think, and he gets criminal neglect for it, right? You know what I'm saying? So this is all in the same state. It really comes down to lawyer. Travis Rudolph is an NBA ball player. He can afford a real lawyer. NFL player. He's rich. He can afford a real lawyer. $75K for a lawyer ain't gonna get you too far in the whole proper. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And let me explain this, right? First of all, Travis Rudolph was a former NFL player that was cut after tearing 2 ACLs, right? He was living with his mother. He was broke.
Okay? Yeah, he wasn't rich at all.
And then they had just buried his father because of a negligent homicide or whatever in the club. I know because it was local. It was right around my area. So I know what happened with his father and everything else. He was broke at that point. So he probably couldn't even afford that lawyer that they had in Texas for Melo.
Yeah, one of his friends helped him out. One of his friends who was, I think is still an NFL player, helped him out with the money so he could get a lawyer.
Exactly. He
was on the Giants.
And his family were broke at that point.
But he was a decent lawyer. That's the point.
Yeah, he was an unrestricted free agent to the Giants. So I know since I'm a Giants fan.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying he also had the castle doctrine, backing him up. This is not one of those cases.
Yeah, so we can't keep on just looking at all these different cases in different states and cry racism. Look at this case. How come this person got this certain amount of years? It's all different. You got different lawyers, you got different judges, you got different
Ronald,
juries.
can you please stop muddying
it's
the
all
waters
different.
just to muddy them? Please don't.
No. I'm trying to put some common sense into this.
I get that
conversation, bro.
Where do you
don't want to learn anything.
Where do you get out?
You're not playing context. You're just muddying the water.
Yeah. Facts. Because I was looking at cases that's in Collin County. You didn't get the link? You got the link, right?
Yeah, I got the link.
Send it to your computer.
Huda, what is your thoughts? What is your thoughts on the 35 years? I didn't get your initial position. You think that he deserved the 35, or do this video shows you make you reconsider your position? Like, what is your thoughts?
I just think that I don't think his intention was to go there to do that, right? That's the first thing. I thought at max, if he did get convicted of the M, I thought he'd probably get about 20, if that. Judged on a few other cases because I've been doing a case-by-case comparison, not of things that happen all around the world, of cases in Collin County. So I've been going through a few cases in Collin County court. One was a guy named DeRay Sims and his wife, Morgan Sims, and she poked him up inside the bathroom. My bad. She popped him. And then she blamed it on the 2 kids. The kids was 2 and 6. She left the house. They found him in the house with the 2 kids, 2 and 6 years old. She got 10 years probation. You know what I'm saying? A couple of cases like that happened kind of in Collin County where they didn't even get jail time. They just got like probation and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But in her case, she did go up and testify for her own self, though. You know what I'm saying? She did go up. She blamed everything on him to say, nah, it was like a domestic thing. It was years of domestic stuff. He kind of popped on her in the bathroom and she went for the blick and hit him, bang. So it was like her own side against whatever the prosecution, but the prosecution was seeking about 20 plus years for her. You know what I mean? So based on a few Collin County court cases that I've seen, I don't think that he should have probably got the 35 years. I think it's something that happened more in the spur of the moment. But then when we think about when you're poking somebody in the chest or your neck or something like that, it's like, what kind of situation do you think it's going to be? You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, there's a high probability that a person can pass away if you want to poke them in the chest. So I can understand how some people could see that, or maybe even the jurors, maybe sometimes. But I don't know,
But
man. I
intent
think it's
matters,
something that
Uda.
happened between two young people. I don't think that Austin knew when he was putting his hands on Karmelo that he was going to be unalived, and I don't think that Karmelo knew that when he poked him, he was going to get 35 years, man. I just think that it's a loss on both sides.
Hold up, Uda. You got 2 kids fighting, right? Another kid grabbing your backpack, and you grab your knife. You swinging that knife. I don't think it was intentional at all that Austin got deleted in this case. I think it was very unintentional. I think it was
That's what I'm
just
saying.
right there in the moment.
It's
But you
spurred the
kind of
moment.
spoke to you said that Melo poked him, right? Like it was intentional. And I at the end of the day, I'm not sure how intentional it really was with 2 boys fighting and another boy grabbing your bag. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So there's
That's it.
reasonable doubt there that this could have been criminal neglect,
Yeah.
3 years versus 35, right?
I see that, but look, also though, they were
30
saying that
years.
because one of the people testified, one of the
Yeah,
witnesses
with
testified
with
that
the negligent
Austin went to
homicide.
put him in
Right.
a football move and grab him, right? So Carmelo's sitting down the whole time, so he's on a bleacher low. So for Austin, he's a 6'2" boy or something like that. He's like 6'2" or something like that, right? So for him to even move forward, and they also testified that he was moving with a force towards Carmelo, even so much so that he knocked Eddie out of his seat, right? His friend Eddie. So now he's going to grab him. So if you're going with a motion to pick somebody up straight like this, because he's going with this football move that you grab like the jersey like this to pick somebody up. So if you going like this with a motion, but then you go into bend down, right? Carmelo's already probably pulling out the weapon. So that's why even this white woman that's in the court saying, in front of the court saying like he could, like the momentum, he kind of going towards you. You just pulling out the weapon. You see what I'm saying? So him coming towards you and you pulling out the weapon, it kind of is like a collision at the sense, you know what I'm saying? Not so much you poking him, but out of Carmelo's own words, he said that he did it. You know what I'm saying? So when we listen to his words, maybe if he don't say something in these words, his words is saying that he did it because I told him not to touch me and put his hands on me. You know what I'm saying? Because it seemed more of an incident like he's coming towards you, he grabbing on you, because Austin was also told by another classmate that was right there, yo, chill, don't do nothing because he got something in that bag. He's like, what? He ain't got nothing in his bag. This Frisco. That's what Austin said. You know what I'm saying? So Austin was negligent to even somebody warning him and telling him, yo, chill. He got something in that bag, I think. What? He ain't got nothing in that bag, man. It's this Frisco. And then he make his move towards Carmelo, moving fast, like the witnesses testified to. He grabbing on him, reaching down to grab him. You just reaching down to get you. If I poke up this right now, you reach down. You poke, bro. Right? So just the momentum as well could be why he got poked so deep. We understand that
when
the
both
heart
of them
is
are
2.5.
moving forward. Yeah,
And,
when
that's
both of them are moving forward.
Momentum, you know what I'm saying?
But
Momentum.
at the same time, it wasn't just he wasn't just negligent, he was ignorant, because he said to Carmelo, if I'm not mistaken, he said, don't be acting like you got something in your bag.
That's what he said. He said he ain't got nothing. He told the next guy he ain't got nothing. This
But he even said that to Melo too. Like, don't be acting like you got something in your bag.
Yeah.
And then that's
another
when,
thing,
that's when they was like, touch me and see what happens. And then
also that's how they teach you in boxing, right? The other person actually knocks themselves out with their momentum. That's why you weave and you turn in, and then they faces coming towards your fist. That's how people usually get knocked out. So that's kind of similar what Uda's talking about, when the force of the other person coming at the knife is what made it go so much more deep. Because we talking about a man that just they saying that he had shoulder surgery just recently. So. And he's only 130 pounds, and there's a lot of ifs that had to make this thing happen so seamlessly. Phil James, the jury decided on unalive. Then sentencing was also done by the jury, and they had to decide between 5 and 99 years. They don't get to look at the comparable cases. Okay, that's fair.
that's true to a degree. The jury can request to look at comparable cases. They can pretty much request any information that they believe that they need in that deliberation room. So I mean, once they decide on M1, that's their option. And 35 was kind of standard once they came to the M1 conclusion.
Damn.
That's why I believe
That's
he
wild.
was overcharged. I'm with Udo on that. Like there should have been sudden passion right there because it's quick. It's bang bang. It premeditated. There really is no thought, in there, and he doesn't know that he's using lethal force. He doesn't know that he's using lethal force. And also, negligent homicide, manslaughter. Those don't even carry 35-year sentences. So
Right.
that's all I'm saying. I think there's grounds for appeal.
Yeah, I believe so too. Shout out to Miss Bree. Thank you so much. Karmelo Anthony, attorney, used to have a law practice with the prosecutor. Plus, he was an ex-prosecutor and is known for convicting number of African Americans. What's IGE? Known for convicting a large number of African Americans. Large number of African Americans. Damn. So that could kind of go to shows with the railroad situation, right? I could go with the railroad situation. There's a lot of stuff that's going on.
The bad thing is that the defense. I just think that the defense. The defense was lackluster, you know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, for him to have anything with appeals, regardless if he has an appeal, which is going to probably take like 6 years alone. But I'm just saying, though, but the whole thing that all of the motions and objections and all of the things, even if the judge says sustained or overruled, doesn't matter. You got to bring up everything on the record, everything in front of the judge. This is what helps you on appeal. And I just think that they were so lackluster. They didn't bring up a lot of stuff. They didn't bring up a lot of motions there during the trial. And I think that's kind of hurting him, even when it comes down to appeals and stuff like that. I think he's hurt on that.
So now, do you think that was purposeful as well, so that he can harm the appeal?
It would seem that way. You know what I'm saying? Some people calling the fixes in. It would seem that way, because how do you represent your client like this? This is not even representing him. You know what I'm saying?
Then you got malpractice.
He'd have been better going in there with a defense like this.
No, I'm just saying you got malpractice too, though, in that case.
It could be. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. They had like 2 objections, bro. People wasn't even objecting to things. You know what I'm saying, son? Like,
2
let's keep it
objections
real.
is absurd.
That people witness.
Every time somebody said, anytime somebody said a weapon, that should have been objection. Every single time. Come on. Come on, bro.
It's a weapon.
They pushed for things in the very beginning, even from opening arguments. You know what I'm saying? To say, okay, he had the weapon because he's a camper. Never drove that home. Never brought that up against stick on that to say, listen, man, couple days ago, he went camping. Actually, boom, 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 boom. They ain't drive none of these things home, right? They ain't driving nothing home. In the very beginning, they came out to say, okay, you know that he and his family's from Louisiana and they moved here. Why even bring that up? If I'm in a state and something happened and they don't know that I ain't from there, let the prosecution bring that up. Because now people looking at you like an outsider. Then you done came to our city, our town, and now you done did this.
Cause chaos.
Cause chaos. People looking at you like an outsider now, not like a person that's from there.
And then they also brought up the jury selection as well.
Some weird stuff happened,
bro. They're just like you said. That's the right word. Lackluster. Very, very lackluster. But I gotta agree with Lord ADS on that part. That's when you gotta put some kind of accountability on the parents for hiring that defense team.
I don't think the parents really know any better, man. They running around following people and propaganda and people that's telling them, yo, you should go this way, that way, bro. Them people, they ain't know no better. Them people square as Delaware. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I just think they was following some people. Probably some people that's probably trying to push this into a race thing. Maybe this is just not about a race thing. Maybe you could have said the Austin brothers was mad. I had a little thing with them towards him, probably, if you want to say that. But as far as the case go, this is 2 young people. It happened, spur of the moment. This is where you're supposed to be pushing this case at. You know what I'm saying? Not on no racial element. And if you're going to push it on a racial element, then you're supposed to have a white lawyer with a cowboy hat and some spur boots on to go talk that thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't come in there with no, it's Texas, bro. What are you talking about? Let's be real.
Tell me, my cousin Benny couldn't handle that.
I got you, Eddie. I'm bringing it right now. ADS right at the NT.
Yeah, man. I wish him all the luck in the world, you know, when it comes to appeal and everything else. As far as the railroad goes, I think the smoking gun, as far as the attempt to railroad, that started with the initial bond hearing. You know, it was remember, it was $1 million at first.
$1 million.
You know, they had to lower that to a quarter. You know, they had to lower that by 75%.
Wasn't it a black woman that lowered it?
A black woman judge. Yeah, it was a black woman judge that had to redo the bond hearing, but it was this lawyer that did it. And I believe that that's what sold Karmelo's family on this lawyer, which was crazy, because I think a paralegal fresh out of law school could have got that bond lowered. You know, like I'm just being honest. Like $1 million was just too much for a child that has no priors and it's not a flight risk or anything like that. Like it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. So I think the bond being lowered was pretty simple, because bond is not supposed to be a punishment.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, ADS.
I'm just saying.
If you remember your point.
Yeah, man. I was thinking. I mean, because I thought about this even before they went to trial, right? I was like, you got this felon, this fruity felon out here with you, representing you, you know what I'm saying, publicly, right? A guy who went to jail, got out, yeah, he said he reformed himself, but still he went to jail, right? I don't know if I want to hang with a dude like that, my son life on the line, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put my son with this dude. And then secondly, you know, like you said, the house and stuff, the 634, I give it 38% tax, but I think you pay that at the end of the year. Maybe they just took some of the money, put it back for taxes. But your son is on the line here. You know what I'm saying? Let's just tell you how sad this whole thing was, right? 5-6 months out. I mean, this has been going on a year, a little over a year, right? They got $634,000. Dad loses his job. The only person in the house with a job at that point is Karmelo, working 2 jobs. They spend the money on new house, new stuff, all good jazz, right? And then at the end of the day, the boy gets a cheap lawyer, and now he's got 34 years because of it. I mean, that boy's gonna have some resentment in his heart with his family thing. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. But
that's real, bro. That guy Dominique is a swindler. That man can't even talk. I don't know how that man got to be their spokesman. How does people speak if you see him get cooked up on the news?
Well, because he's an ambulance chasing activist. Like that's what he does. But at the same time,
he gave him some money, bro. He had to come and get him some money, bro. Come on, bro. Think about it.
I ain't gonna lie. I think the ambulance chasers would have did a better job. I think the ambulance chasers would have did a better job.
And activists really couldn't help you here. It couldn't help you here. It was going to cause more harm than good.
I don't know.
Bro, you got to get like
I don't know. They could cause more harm than 35 years, bro.
Once you decide to take it to trial, I don't see how an activist is going to help you, man.
You need a women lawyers as well. You need a mixture of lawyers, bro. If we aren't anything from Diddy's trial, Diddy had the team. You know what I'm saying? He had men, white men, women, black women, white women. He had the whole thing mixed up. Of course, he got a bag, but look at the cross examinations of like Cassie or Jane. He didn't send the men over there like that, bro. He had the women. Go over there, Shapiro. If it got crazy, he sent Westmoreland, the black lady, come grill you up. But look, you got to have different things for different situations when it comes to testimony, when it comes to cross-examining witnesses. And I just think that his defense was just very limited. It was just very limited. Trust me, it was limited. I'd had a white person.
And not just that, Uda. I said also jury selection. Of course, the defense, once you choose to take it to trial, but also if I'm Karmelo's parents, I need a lawyer that can at least get me some deals on the table, get me a deal or two on the table too. because a plea should have at least been an option. So when people are saying, "Oh, well, a deal wasn't offered," no, I need a lawyer that can request and negotiate something. If you don't have some kind of resume that shows that not only can you make deals, but you can also fight, like you have a history of fighting cases like this in court and possibly winning, that's it, man. I'm rejecting your application. Next.
You need
And
one of
this
them
was the
lawyers.
part that
Y'all are
really
forgetting
got,
I need a
lot of
Lincoln lawyer.
steps.
You know,
Y'all are forgetting a
and
lot
this
of
is the
steps.
part that really messed me up, right? Who was the person to announce that the Mello family was out of money and had to go with a public defender? The lawyer. The lawyer announced it first. He came out the next day and said they out of money. They got to go with a public defender. That's
Crazy.
wild to me. He didn't even give it a whole week before coming out. He gave it the next day, right after the verdict. Like they need to get a public defender going forward because they got no more money left. That's crazy. That's insane.
That is crazy.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But
I
it goes
didn't know
to
he
it's
said
about money.
So what he said that for the appeal court, for the appellate court. That's why he was saying that.
Yeah, they wanted a court appointed attorney. That's what I read. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I read somewhere.
That's wild.
Nasty work. That's nasty work, bro.
Yeah, that's nasty work right there. That is just insane. Shout out to the over 220 people watching. Make sure y'all hitting that like and the share button. I would like to have the same amount of viewers as likes. Let's get it close to it at least. Get some more shares in there at least. Let's get it together.
But I did also hear that like some of the things they didn't just buy, like they didn't buy a house with that
Right.
money. They bought a house before that money was even released. So whether they use it to make mortgage payments or whatever, they got approved for the loan and all of that stuff before any of that money was dropped. They did use that money, however, to invest in there were some other businesses and some other accounts that they put some of that money into. So I don't think that was the worst thing that they could do with that money. I mean, you want to try to make sure that your family is good and your son is good if and when he does get out. You know, whether that be 7 years from now, 10 years from now, or 17 years from now. So I don't think that's the worst thing.
No.
Okay.
They should have took that money and
Wait, hold up. No, I'm done. No, hey, no, I'm stepping in. You done. No, because y'all said some things that we're talking about law, but y'all are missing some of the most important things. Like one, had his lawyer actually made the argument for self-defense? If you realize that he did not. He didn't argue self-defense, so how could the jury even consider that deliberation? Like I keep asking that question because you can look. And also, Frisco's not a sundown town. I literally live there.
Okay, great points. Also, let me welcome into the show TJ. Good day, TJ. What do you think? After this video, did it give you some more confirmation or did it make you reconsider your position that you had? Can you hear me, Tommy? I don't think he can hear me.
Can y'all hear me
right now?
I think he might be on a delay.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You can hear me?
I think he's on a delay,
Okay.
Sharon.
I was saying, I was just saying that basically I viewed it this way. I had already said what I thought, and I thought that he should get fewer years. But I think that after I saw the video and I saw that people were lying about what they saw about this crab walk and he was getting manhandled by several people, it seems like we're doing everything. And I thank that brother for saying it's not a sundown town and all this. We went straight to he's the victim, even though there's a dead person there. It's racism. From the time most people first saw this on their timeline, it was automatic. It was racism, and we'll believe everything bad about the white boy, even though the white boy dead. To me, that was like a horrible way to look at it. But after I saw the video, I actually think the number might be right. You take a knife and you tell somebody, touch me and find out. Touch me and find out. You've already decided you are going to stab somebody over being touched. Those words are going to be used against you. You didn't say y'all beat me, and this is what I don't like. All y'all claiming that he was beat up. He was not beat up, but he was jumped by a bunch of people. When the police pulled him out, his words weren't, they grabbed me. He said he did. His own words hurt him. He didn't say he got jumped. He had plenty of time to say he got jumped. Yet y'all have spent all these lies telling the internet this, and then the lawyer set up there and wanted to be an activist more than an actual lawyer. And the family, the same thing. If you care about your son, you're gonna tell him somebody lost their life. You ain't getting out of this with nothing. And I guarantee you they offered him some kind of deal, but that dude who wanted to be the next Ben Crump, he said, no, we can beat this. And they took a chance. And whenever you take your chance on a case, they're going to give you the numbers that they think are commiserate to when the fact that they had to go to trial with you instead of you taking a deal. That's just where I see it.
DCW.
He was not offered a plea deal. It's not on the.
Hold on. Let me read the super chat before you rebuttal, Shadow. DCW 2090-05. Something of that nature. I believe this lawyer's performance was not only lackluster, but intentional and should be part of his appeal argument. He was clearly misrepresented.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to argue that. I think. Guys, you want to respond to Tommy?
Yes. So, Tommy, here's what I'm going to say. Number one, while I understand where you're coming from, I also disagree with you because it wasn't about race. It was actually about self-defense. I hear what you're saying. You're saying if he says, if you touch me, I'm going to. Yes, that would imply intent. But we said premeditation, which there was not. Literally in Texas, he was allowed to do everything he was allowed to do. Had that been raised, because you're saying all the people who talk about him getting jumped. The confrontation was started by Hunter and ended by Austin. By literal definition, two people engaged in contact with him, two of them. With that being said, most reasonable people can believe if I get in a fight with one twin, I probably have to fight the other. Would you agree with that? Would you say that's a reasonable suspicion? Okay,
I'd say that's
where I'm
reasonable.
coming from. So the issue is that his lawyer didn't argue why he had reasonable suspicion that he could sustain serious bodily harm. Keep in mind, in Texas, the fear of death is not the point. It's or serious bodily injury. If he got jumped by people whose combined weight overweight him by 3 times, yes, he could really believe I had the capability to be seriously injured, i.e. I have the ability to defend myself. His lawyer never presented that. His lawyer never presented any objections during the trial. Any of them. All his objections were pre-trial. So as Uda said, he lost all of his objections for his appeal because his lawyer never raised them. Anyways, that's a stiffening violation. Wait, hey, Sharon, who was that?
That was
ADS,
ADS.
brother. ADS, yeah.
ADS, I'll be right back.
All right. While Shadow be right back, go ahead, Tommy, if you like, you can respond to it. Okay, there you go. You back, Tommy?
Yeah, I was gone. I didn't know. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. I don't know if you heard enough to respond.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you good.
I did. I'm driving in the middle of East Bumblefuck. You see all these trees. I'm out here in Georgia. It's trees all over.
Yeah, so be careful. I can see that orange seatbelt. I know exactly what car you're in.
If I can say this much, and this is something that I think that this is where the defense, they didn't do a good job of rebuttaling, but the intent was kind of proven by the prosecution just by him bringing the knife in the first place, and then they were able to present the words of "touch me and see what happens" as not a warning, but an invitation to mutual combat, which means just like I can't tell you, yo, care to step outside. That's an invitation to mutual combat. And then I just pop you or I stab you or something like that. I can't do that. So and I understand what Shadow's talking about. Yeah, you know, if that's the perceived threat, I think you have to put him on the stand to actually be able to tell everybody what it is that he perceives, because you got 20 plus witnesses that are telling you what they saw. You know, whether they're credible witnesses or not, you still got to be able to speak to spit your side. So I think, you know, the prosecution just did a better job of proving the intent than the defense did of debunking it.
And thank you for saying that. Like,
Okay.
that's all I wanted people to be able. Oh,
Yeah. Go ahead. ADS, you had something that you want to add into it, and then Tommy can jump in right after. Go ahead, ADS.
Along the same lines, right? I mean,
Slap the taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see it.
oh, what happened?
Yeah. It says, shout out to Titan Was. It says ADS. So ADS, you got 15 minutes. You either wait your time, somebody can bring you back, or you can bring yourself back. Shout out to Titan Was. Thank you. It says ABS, so he wanted to drop you for 15 minutes for interrupting his conversation with Tommy Sotomayor. He said he wanted to talk to Tommy by himself. Go ahead, Tommy.
Well, all right. Well, hold on a second. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get some better reception. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get some better reception. Let's see what happens.
So, oh man. So, but yeah. So, again, Ron, you want to jump in?
Yeah, it's amazing that Tommy said everything I've been saying for the last year.
I think I might have better reception now.
So shout out to Tommy.
I agree with Tommy on one point. One point I agree with Tommy on is that you know, at first I was saying, you know, if you're saying the truth after the police confront you, whatever, and you prove in self-defense anyway, it can go into it because you're telling your side of what you deem the truth to be. But when you didn't say they and you just put it to just the person, you take away that element of that reasonable doubt there. You take away that. Him himself out of his own mouth took away that little element as well. You know what I mean? He did, you know.
Uder,
Yeah.
you're not perfect, bro, but I disagree. In fact, I think the fact that he warned him shows that he didn't want to do it.
I agree there.
He warned him. He's like, "Hey, I'm telling you, don't put your hands on me."
But did he warn him, or did he invite him to mutual combat? This is what the jury has to decide.
So,
but his lawyer didn't present it that way.
That's my point.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that like the lawyer. You get shot. Get Shadow.
Yeah. Okay. Look, the jury can only consider what's put in front of them. If the jury never saw what Karmelo's intent was, because again, if you look at what the court actually happened, his defense attorney never established his intent for why he did it. Of course, he got convicted for what he got convicted of. It was only the prosecution's case. Because he was not defended, you couldn't have done that. We on these panels have made under multiple circumstances why he could have done what he did, right? His attorney didn't do any of them. So with that being said, y'all have to also remember, in Texas, mere possession of a weapon is not intent to use it. And in most self-defense cases, i.e. if you're a trained fighter, you actually have to give that warning first. Hey, if you put your hands on me, I will break you in half. That doesn't mean you're premeditating. That means, hey, I'm warning you, I am a weapon, and if you touch me, I will use said weapon. This is Texas law, guys. I'm just arguing why it's self-defense by actual legal standards.
No, I got you, Shadow. I'm not even going to. I'm not negating anything that you're saying, Shadow. In fact, you know, we've been discussing this case the whole time, so I'm not negating that. But what I'm saying that, like, when because it's either you speak to the police or you don't. Police can't even help you. They're just here to book you. That's what they did to do. They're not here to do nothing else besides that. So, but look, if Karmelo says, "Yo, I told them," just the word "them" right there, it creates that level of reasonable doubt. We don't have to even think about a video, nothing. Out of his own words, he's saying that. And then he never got a chance to testify for his own self to really put the jury and put everybody in his mindset of exactly what happened. So I think that element is kind of taken away, and or it could be used against him in some senses. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
And And also, I think that
And I agree with that. But even
his lawyer did a very bad job of explaining what it meant in a black person's language when it says touch me and find out. It doesn't mean I'm telling you to do something. Like, so when somebody say hit me, when a black person says hit me again, it don't actually mean hit me again. It means you better stop before I do something to you. Do this again and you'll find out. It means if you keep on doing that, I'm going to do something to it. He should have explained it in how we communicate as well. So you cannot use the terms in a literal sense and say, oh, well, he provoked Austin. No, he did not. He was telling him, stop playing with me. Don't touch me. You touch me, you see what happened. That is a warning. That is not provocation. We got to stop acting as if Karmelo was talking in the literal sense. That is not fair.
Sharon, I think we agree on that, and we also agree
but Sharon,
that his
also,
lawyer
he's never
did a
dealt with
horrible
cops.
job. But no, his lawyer did a horrible job of explaining that, or at least making that a case when you're trying to get your defendant off of a murder one charge. I'm sorry, an M1 charge. Like
because he wasn't trying.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I keep going back to I think he has some grounds for appeal right here. You know, that's just one reason why.
Yeah, that's just one.
But hold on, in order to even say that,
there's a lot more.
You have to.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, Shadow. Welcome to the show, Art. Good day, Art. Okay. Art dropped. We probably know why. Go ahead, Shadow. You there, Shadow?
You're breaking up, Shadow.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Test.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
In order to even claim ineffective assistance of counsel.
Breaking up again, Shadow.
Damn.
No, I heard him. Well, I heard
you got to
him
raise those motions during the trial. They got to say a lot of things.
He's talking about for the appeal. He was talking about for the appeal, which is that's going to be part of it. And then, like I said, there's a jury selection. And just like you said, they're going to bring up the entire court transcript. They're going to bring up the objections or lack thereof, all of those different things. So, I think he's got grounds for appeal. But just like you said, Uda, it's a shame because you're looking at like at least 5 years before.
At least 5. Shadow can speak to that. He's from down there. He can speak to it. He know the vibe.
Hold on. He's not even going to reach the habeas corpus standard.
Shout out to Phil James. Can you put the statue for unalive in Texas? Sure, we could do that again. We done did almost on every show, but we can actually put what's the name of the penal code again? Was it 9321?
What is it? 9207? What is it, Shadow?
No, that's self-defense. No, that's self-defense. 0931 is self-defense. 0932 is lethal force. I think M1 is 4.06. Let me confirm.
Okay.
Yeah. So confirm that.
So we'll look it up and we'll put it in the chat.
4603. The weapon in school is 4603 Penal Code, Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 1902. I was right. So 1902.
Okay.
It's M1. But keep in mind, he never even got charged with a weapon in school.
Because that's 4603.
That's 4603. That's not on his indictment.
No, because it's 3.5 inches, and that's really going for a weapon that's over 5.5 inches, which that means it's not an illegally prohibited weapon, period. Even though you know that weapons ain't supposed to be on school grounds, the size of the weapon itself doesn't make an illegally prohibited weapon. You know what I'm saying? Period. Anyway.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, so when you say like a legally prohibited weapon, like I can have I know where I am, and this is a different state, but I can have a permit to conceal, but a child can't have that weapon. You know what I'm saying? Like I can possess a firearm, I can possess a knife, I can possess certain types of things that a child cannot possess on school grounds or school functions.
Actually
Outside
carry
of the
that
house, you
firearm.
can't have it.
No,
Yeah.
right. The school grounds is a different conversation. I agree with you there. But also, it's not, that weapon was allowed, and I'm calling it a weapon for the sake of conversation. It actually was, minors are allowed to carry that across state of Texas. Like, no matter where you are in Texas, you're allowed to have that knife.
Okay.
Just factually,
Shout out
just
to
as
Phil
a factual
James.
correction.
School grounds are a different story, though, bro. You know that.
No, I agree.
Phil James.
Yeah.
Phil James. Only one of them is required for prosecution. Okay, so we can read it if you like. Texas Penal Code Section 1902 addresses M. In Texas, it defines. Let me make sure we get the whole thing.
Let me get it.
I think I'm cutting some things off. I am cutting some things off.
Let me get it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Texas Penal Code Section 1902 addresses the M in Texas. It defines the offense as intentionally or knowingly causing the unaliving of an individual or committing an act clearly dangerous to human life that is the result in unalivement. The statute also includes the provisions for sudden passions and the manufacture of controlled substances leading to an unaliving. The penalties for M can range from 5 to 99 years in prison or life, depending on the circumstances of the offense. And we know most cases in there is going to be 5 to 99 or life. That's what it is. To be capital, it'll be like involving with unaliving an officer, depending on an intention. If you're doing it while committing a crime, unaliving, and all of those things, you'll be up for capital. So that's why capital wasn't on the table. In usual cases, that's going on in Texas. That's the statutes 5, 99 or life. That's what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. No, that's why. Once they
just as a quick confirmation. Can you pull up Texas Penal Code 1905?
And while he pulls that's one of the reasons why, like, once they came back with an M1 conviction, 35, I couldn't even argue that because it's standard. I knew he was facing 40, like he was facing probably about 45. That was like so when I saw 35, I'm like that's what it is when you get a conviction for M1.
So the reason why I brought up Texas Penal Code 1905 is that's negligent age. It has the same statutes, but with the mens rea of reckless disregard, right? When Karmelo's first two statements were, and again, is he okay? And I just wanted to get him off of me. It shows that his actions were in reckless disregard of the consequence. He did something without knowing that it was going to cause that unaliving. That's why most other cases in Texas that people compare it to literally end up being charged with negligent age.
Yeah. Zoom it out. Zoom it out a little bit. But that's it. Criminally negligent. A person commits an offense if he causes the unalivement of an individual by criminal negligence, and then or B, an offense under this section is state jail felony. Is a state jail felony.
Yeah.
So I mean that should have been on the table as well. Yeah.
That should have definitely been on the table as well. Absolutely.
Because you see it there. You see exactly, because after he starts to run, then he walks. And then after he walks, when he's running on the track and he runs into a woman who's like a staff member. I think her name is Tiffany or something like that, white lady, blonde hair. She's the one who ushers him to the other coach, the black coach, the big coach. The coach walks with Karmelo. You see it on the footage. The coach walks with Karmelo. That's when the coach tells him, listen, man, you might have thrown your life away if this boy passes away. You see Karmelo have a reaction. You know what I mean? The coach also walks away from him for a second. He gets distracted. He comes back to him. This is when he tells him that. Karmelo has this reaction, and then he hugs him. He hugs Karmelo.
Carmelo hugs him back, puts his arm over him, and he's like sobbing in his arms right there. You know what I mean? So he's like, you can see that he didn't have the intention that he wanted to do it, or if he thinking like he did this, because he was even asking like, is he gonna be okay? And so, you know, all of these things kind of factor into that same thing as well. You know what I mean? You can see it visually on the footage though. You see it all happen visually. Then I know the testimonies of what was happening inside the court. So it's kind of piecing both together. You know, it could have been a negligent homicide. It could have been, bro.
Yeah.
Or a man,
Absolutely.
at least, or a man. Could have been a man.
One of the two.
Yeah, which
That's why I
know
keep making the
the
statement that I make. All M's are killings, but not all killings are M's.
That's correct. But not even the the man, you know what I'm saying? That's a second degree felony. 2 to 20. 35 isn't even on the table, you know, for that.
Yeah, it's not even on the table. Great point. And that would have, and I think it would have been so crazy if he would have got that as well. So people were like, well, you know, people would have still had somewhat of an argument, but it's a much more difficult argument to have when you say it is man or negligent. And I think the part that most people not recognize is that situations like this makes it really scary because it shows that it's difficult to defend yourself. At least what it seems like, it's difficult to defend yourself as a black man. Like, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. It's like they're just tricking us out of our lives regardless. If you don't do nothing, something tragic can happen to you. If you do something, something tragic can happen to you.
But there's a step further. A lot of people ask, why did he talk to the cops? Well, you have to also think, he's in Frisco. For the same reason why they didn't believe there was a knife, is the same reason why he went and talked to the cops. Right. That's what he was taught to do. He was taught that if a cop asks you a question, answer it. He probably doesn't know what Miranda rights are. They never read them to him, so how would he know?
And plus, he's not a criminal, so he don't really understand not to say anything to the police because he's not raised as a criminal or raised as somebody that is even self-aware about police.
Yeah,
so he
but then
like you said, like
my bad.
Like he not even aware of don't say nothing at all. Just let them arrest you and shut up. You're not even aware of that because his family just doesn't even have that idea that something can happen with him and the police.
But then peep his words now. So now, Officer Cortez is the first body cam footage, Shadow, right? Officer Cortez is the first body cam footage that makes first contact with him. But then Richie comes in. It's the second. It's like a 17-second body cam footage. I sent it over to Sharon, so he has it all. So on Richie's body cam footage, you can't really hear it on Cortez's body cam footage. On Richie's body cam footage, when he comes over there, he says, I got the alleged suspect. You hear Cortez talking to him. And then Richie walks over towards them. That's the next cop with the body cam walking towards the officer and Karmelo. And he says, no, I'm not alleged. I'm the one. I know how this goes. Karmelo says out of his own mouth, I know how this goes. I'm like, what are you talking about, sir? He's talking about, I'm not alleged. I know how this goes.
No, hear me out. Right. But he does know how it goes because he's watched TV. He understands what happens when cops come to you. When they ask you questions, answer them. Again, he's going off of a false belief of what he thinks he's supposed to be doing. That's why he says, I'm not alleged. Again, if you listen to what he said, all things considering, you can see that he had clear ignorance of what was going on. That's why he kept talking to everybody. You see what I'm saying? He clearly didn't. He was just trying to do what he thought was right. But just because what he thought was right caught him 35 years.
Goddamn.
But hell, I teach my kids, when the cops talk to you, don't sit there and fight with them, have the conversation, do what you gotta do, but do not say you did anything. But I'm also out there. So I'm not gonna tell my kids, hey, tell them anything they ask, hey, call my dad.
Right, that's what you're supposed to say.
But Tommy, if his family's not out there, why would he even think to do that?
Driving while black with a red seatbelt, man. Take your time, Tommy, out there. Take your time, sir. Take your time, sir.
But first off, this is orange.
Shit, my colorblind. I'm colorblind.
Yeah, man. Like I think the problem is, and again, y'all won't like it, but I think the problem is we teach a whole lot of these kids that being an activist is okay, and I think he believed that he would have everything on his side by just blurting out, I told him not to do this, hence he got what he got. A lot of times we have a false understanding of the law, just like all these people who've been talking about, and I really do appreciate the people you had up here, especially the fact that some of them are young, because they were saying, hey man, county, state, these things are different. Case by case, they're different. You can't hold the same standard per case. But we will do this, and we'll keep forgetting about all of the black people who have gotten away with things like that. I got a couple of brothers I grew up with that actually put somebody in the ground and didn't do no time. Ain't nobody protesting about that. I mean, their family was hurt, but other than that, nobody has cared. And it's like we gotta stop only caring when a white person does something, but we definitely gotta tell our kids, stop believing what you read on the internet. You can't tell somebody, touch me again, I'm gonna poke you, because you think Texas stand your ground mean you can invite the fight so you can respond that way. That's insane. I don't know if you remember, Sharon, that dude was talking
even what
about
you're
the
saying
side.
is inaccurate. Sorry, my bad.
What part?
I thought you paused.
What part?
So you're saying
What part?
Texas
Go ahead.
stand your ground means that you don't invite it, right? And I agree with you, because you can't invite yourself and then claim stand your ground. But again, you also have to look at what is considered initial confrontation and then unequatable force, because both brothers approached him the way that they did.
So you didn't technically disagree with me. You added more to it.
No. So, but my thing that I'm telling you is you're misappropriating. He couldn't have invited it when the initial aggressors were both brothers. The Metcalf brothers, by legal standard in Texas, brought in unequatable force, meaning that they both came to him in an aggressive posture. Hunter began the confrontation, and Austin escalated it. So I hear what you're coming from, but I think.
So if a bouncer tells me you need to get out of here, or if you tell me, and I'm we have all kind of parks here in Atlanta. If I walk under your tent and you say, hey, you need to get up out of here, and I say, touch me and find out, you're the aggressor because you told me to get up out of the tent, right? And now, so everything is fair game. Okay, then he should be able to win on appeal. If what you're saying is true,
well, hold on. But I think you're missing some points. Number one is that the bouncer at a club and students in a tent don't have the same authority of security there. In that situation, the only person you have to write.
And then I said, if you were in a park and you were under your tent, I gave both examples. So cool, he don't have authority. Now go to the other one where you're just under your tent at a park we have here in Atlanta, and I walk under there because it's raining. Or like right now, somebody could jump in my car because I'm sitting in the parking lot.
Nope, because again, that's your dominion. So again, now we're talking about habitats, things that you have protection under. We're not having that same conversation. In this tent, it was literally considered public domain. Karmelo actually had the right to be there, and he was invited. The person who rescinded his invite was not the same person who gave him the invite. Again, I can see where you're coming from, but I think you're Frisco ISD, those are not considered private property. They're considered public property. Could you at least,
so I'm saying,
can you see that?
Right. Well, but I'm saying, so he should win on appeal, right? All I'm saying is we need to stop telling people how to fight the law after they've committed said crime. These black folks love to have people say, that was wrong after we've already done it. When the cop done shot the guy, or when you done fought the cop in the street, or you done fought over the ticket instead of going into court, we then after it say, well, we had a legal right. And this is usually after we've been sentenced to something, including death. Austin's family can't sit there and talk about how he had a legal right. He dead now. It's a stupid argument. That's why they are telling their kids, if you see these little black kids, don't touch them. Leave them alone. Don't argue with them. They're not going around saying Austin had every right to do what he did. We keep telling people, even when they lose, you had every right to do what you do. We don't teach avoidance at all.
But here's the problem with what you're saying.
He could walk away.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Tommy,
Yes, sir,
here's
he
where
said
Somebody
that.
said
me and you
Texas
did.
Penal Code
Here's,
30.5D-3. The knife was prohibited.
Yeah, we checked that one.
Yeah, 46.03 goes more into like
46,
knives
yeah.
and stuff like that. In the school, it deals with schools
In the school, yeah.
and what is prohibited or not. But what's the crazy thing though as well, because the way the prosecution pushed it is to say that each tent works or serves as each team's locker room. Each tent is like
Thank
each
you.
other's locker room. That's what the prosecution pushed it as. Like each one is a locker room because kids got their stuff in the tent. They got belongings.
Yes.
People don't want their stuff stolen. But the
and that's
craziest
where
thing
the
is that
prosecutorial misconduct comes
his
in.
team
Oh,
coach
shit.
did not bring his tent because they said they didn't have the manpower to put it up. So why didn't his coaches have their tent? If they had their tent, we probably wouldn't even be here. That's the craziest thing. Craziest thing, bro.
See, I just put up my tent.
But even still, the tent. But even still, a
Talk
tent
that
is
shit.
not considered private. But look, like I said, I can swallow that pill. But again, the tent is still considered
Pause.
public property based on Frisco ISD policy. I have children in Frisco ISD right now. I've asked this question specifically at a school board. So I'm telling you, I understand what I'm saying because I've actually asked, because my first wonder was what authority did the Metcalfs have? And the answer is the coach was able to have him leave, but the coach never told him to leave. Therefore, so why
It
should
sounds like it
Karmelo
never got
Anthony?
that far, though.
It didn't get that far because the first thing that happened is Metcalf put his hands on him. So while I understand a
Y'all
lot of
keep on
points of
going
view,
with that.
I asked a lot of people the same question. If you're saying that Karmelo Anthony was wrong for poking him, are you saying that Austin Metcalf was right for touching him? Keep in mind, touching
No,
him.
we're saying well, can't two things be true? But then now the use of force that you use doesn't equate what the wrong that other person did. Well, hold on. It's Sharon Brace. Aren't you the same person that said, even if a woman put her hands on me, if I knock her out, I am wrong? Didn't you say that? That you're saying, yes, she might have touched you first, but your force you used in comparison to what she did was wrong. Yes or no?
Yes.
So let's not act like we don't know. Two things can be true at the same time, but one can
No,
be too
because
much.
that's still unequatable force. Because generally speaking, most men are both heavier, taller, and stronger than most women. You would agree to that,
And
right?
that knife, yes, and that knife was caused more damage than his shove would have. 100%.
Again, you don't, because now you're assuming what would have happened had he swung off on him. Had he
Nope,
pushed him
he
and just
shoved
hit
him.
one brother. Hold up, hear me out,
It'd have
Tommy.
been
So I want you to tell me with a straight face, if Karmelo Anthony would have swung off on Austin, who actually ended up putting his hands on him, Hunter, his twin brother, would not have done a thing.
Oh, well, hold on. We know if I was fighting any group of people, like when I was in Harlem, that wasn't going to go. Even a dude told me, he said, if you hit that dude, we're going to have to jump you. That was what I was running into.
Cool. So let me ask you this then. Now that there's a reasonable understanding that he was going to get jumped by people that totaled 185 pounds more than him, is it possible that
they
he
weren't
could
that
have?
heavy.
Yes, they were 213. One was 213 and one was 235. Go check me on it.
No.
Check
I'm
me
just
on it.
saying, if you're scared, go to church. If you don't go in there scared, we know this. Why would you go in there
But hold
scared,
up.
ready to use a weapon?
No. See, now you're saying what he should have done. You're making an odd claim. I'm not saying any of that. I'm speaking strictly on the law. What I'm saying is there was, in fact, clear, unequated force. He was clearly one outnumbered, outweighed, and outheighted. With that being said, the plausibility for serious bodily harm was real. Had his lawyer argued what I just argued to you, he would have won a self-defense case based on Texas penal codes.
agreed.
State law would have protected him because it was reasonable to believe he was going to be, again, you just admitted to it. With that being said, that means that he had the right to defend himself in the capacity that he believed.
That's a good argument. that would have been an interesting argument to see what the prosecutors would have said. But sad to say, the defense did a horrible job, in my opinion. Clearly, a lot of us YouTube lawyers would have did a better job, at least at making a decent argument. Even us YouTube lawyers would have made a decent argument instead of these, And then we also have these. What we could see is that like I have somebody in the back that is clearly is. He says, even though we don't know his credentials, he doesn't talk like a lawyer. He doesn't communicate like a lawyer. However, he says he's a lawyer. But look the way how he act, right? We could tell somebody like that in the court of law would do whatever they can to railroad a black individual, right? We know that for a fact. Like you can see how he writes. But if we was to say, like, we see this man and we was to find out who he is and what cases he's doing, and we show all the things that he says as a lawyer, people like, nah, that shit is fake. You know what I'm saying, Uda?
Yeah,
He'll make up every excuse like, no, I got black friends. I even dated a black girl before. He'll make up every excuse in the world to prove that he is not what we clearly see he is.
Yeah.
He in the back calling us all the N-word.
All types of N's back there, bro. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
And he will literally say that he is not a racist man.
No, that's crazy. It's hard to believe with that type of stuff. It's hard to believe, bro. You know
and these are the same people that be representing us and acting like they all for us to. Shit ain't true, bro. We just don't have
the white concept, sir. You are the concept, sir. That's right. You are the concept, sir. The hell?
But Sharon, even the penal code he just put up doesn't apply to schools. That's the irony of it. He's even trying to make an argument that doesn't make sense.
I'm saying 46.03 deals with schools, Texas Penal Code. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to know that.
Specifically, I'm telling you. Specifically, bro.
Whoa, hold up, Uda. You can't be a lawyer today.
Yeah.
You can't correct him. Like, that's what I'm saying. His argument, look, if somebody makes a good argument for why M1 was accurate, I'll concede. But in counter, I always make arguments why M1 doesn't fit. And the reason I say he got convicted for M1 is because the judge, the prosecutor, and the defense attorney agreed to M1. Anybody who's seen this docket sheet can see he was never entitled a plea deal. He's never got a plea deal. It never was put in front of him. He never even got to consider a plea deal. People who've been in the system understand that's weird. Wouldn't you agree, Uda?
Yes.
So the fact that they never even tried to make a plea agreement, and then people are like, well, his lawyer should have pushed for one. Everybody who's saying that doesn't understand how the legal system works. The lawyer isn't the one who goes to the plea agreement, it's the prosecution, because they don't want it to go to trial. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to save resources. But you also surrender all your rights. His lawyer let him go to trial and then surrendered his rights.
Shout out to Phil James. Funny how Knight disappeared. He just got a little sleepy. That's all. He had to take a nap.
It's just a sad case on both sides, bro. You know what I mean? I see people online saying Austin should have been out of here too. He deserved what he got. You know what I'm saying? I think they was both young kids, man.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think both of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Austin deserved to be passed away, bro. I don't think that he should be doing 35 right now. There was those young kids that had their whole lives ahead of them. Didn't get a chance to have children, to really fall in love and get a wife, run a family, run a household. They never got a chance to do. You got all that's good 3.7 GPA point averages, and you didn't get the chance to use this in the world, in society, get a good paying job, provide for your family. this is two young kids, man. It's just a sad situation on both sides, man. You know what I mean? And me as a person that has kids, and my son is about their age or what Austin would have been. You know what I mean? My son's about to be 19 as well, my oldest son. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's real talk. You know what I'm saying? When we think about it, man. You know what I mean? I didn't want that for none of them. You know what I'm saying? Point blank. Whether he's white, whether or not, no matter. You know what I mean? I just really believe that Austin didn't believe that he would be unalived, and Carmelo really didn't understand that he'd be doing 35. You know what I'm saying? For real, bro. Just facts of life.
Yeah. And we got to get better at understand the law and what is actually factual with the law. And you know, Tommy did make a good assessment of a lot of times we don't understand the law and how to use the law for ourselves because it's already stacked up against us. I don't know. It's a lot of emotions and thoughts that I have when it comes to these type of things because I really feel like it's damn if we do, damn if we don't. Shout out to Ken West. Don't fold, Shadow. Hold the line. Hold the line, Shadow. Welcome into the show. We Unlock Nation. Good day to you. What is your thoughts after you've seen the video? Did it confirm your initial thoughts or did it make you reconsider your position?
First of all, that video was damn near edited. When you first seen it the first time, you seen the initial push, and then automatically you seen Karmelo Anthony run away from the tent. All that shit was edited. That was not a 15-minute clip, first and foremost. But I have a very important question to ask you, Sharon, because I've been knowing you for what, 2 years? 2, 3 years? Uda, I've been knowing you for damn near 4 years.
More than that, brother. What the hell are you talking about, man? We all pushing on 10, 6, 7, 8.
Listen. I've been getting into a lot of fist fights lately. Okay, so
yeah, it's been a minute, bro. It's
been a minute. I need your honest opinion. Am I wrong for saying that I should hate white people? Am I wrong for saying that? And be honest.
For saying what?
Be honest.
Repeat what you said. You say what?
That he hates. Hate is a strong word, my brother.
You hate what?
White folks.
Boy. Woo. You can only speak from your own paradigm, son. You can only speak from your own lens.
Diamond Dave, I'm bring up in 1 second.
Everybody speaks from their own paradigm. Everybody speaks from their own lens of what you've seen, your own traumas, the things you're gonna witness, or whatever. You know what I mean? You only can speak from your own lens. You know what I mean? So, for me, I can understand some of the reasons why you may feel that way. You know what I mean? Just based on history and based on things that I've studied in my life. You know what I mean? But I've also seen white people jump out the window too and hold people down and help people down and all that too. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's no color on a good person. You know what I'm saying? I think that good quality and good color and good morals are in some people. And I've seen white people do real things for these kind of people that even sometimes your own homie won't even do. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, you know, it just depends on your lens and how you see things and the only things that you've been through. You know what I mean? Straight.
That's a tough one, and I agree with what Uda said. We understand why you would say it 100%, and at the same time, on the other side, there's so many people that willing to ride or die just because of good character. So it makes it a very difficult question. We are allowed to be honest with you, Phil James. The video lines up with the testimony. Interesting, and also. To be right on cue, we're gonna bring up somebody brand new that I never seen before. We're gonna give him a shot. We're gonna make sure he's all what he say he is. Welcome to the show, Diamond Dave.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, first time here. I saw this pop up in my feed, and I liked the overall discussion and the vibe. So, yeah, I just wanted to jump on and ask a quick question because I am not in
All
the
right, before you
United
ask your question, Dave. First of all, do you think the video changed your point of view? That it made you reconsider your original point of view? Number one, and number two, do you think 35 years was justified?
So I'm still trying to process a video. I am not in the United States. So I'm getting all this from like secondhand accounts and from like other sources. So I'm still trying to catch up because I live in Mongolia and there's a lot less information
Goddamn.
here than there is in the US. Now to answer your question, 35 years, I honestly don't know. I'm kind of struggling with that because here in Mongolia, he was a juvenile at the time of the incident, right? So here he would have gotten at most 10 years, but it would have been at a juvenile facility because he was 17 at the time and it would be focused on rehabilitation and reintegrating in society. I have not lived in Texas, so I don't know Texas law, and that's why I was calling in to ask the question, which is I see a lot of people saying he's talking about like, talking about appealing and people want him to appeal and things like that. And how does that work? Can he appeal if I guess I should say he can appeal, but what does that look like when there's already like just so much evidence out there and the jury already made a guilty verdict? What does that look like in the state of Texas?
Okay, great question. Everybody hates Mott. The thumbnail is a bit more handsome than you, Sharon. In better shape also. Kiss my ass, Mott.
Oh, I forgot to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. All the
Happy
fathers.
Father's Day, everybody, as well. Same to you, Wheeler.
Happy
Thank you for
Father's
that.
Day to the
Appreciate
fathers,
that.
man. Salute, man.
Yeah, shout out to all the fathers out there. So
Shadow.
I believe Shadow want to jump on that first. And then we're gonna let Shadow and Diamond Dave have their quick back and forth since Shadow's living in Texas and he has dealt with the appellate court before. And then we got Dr. Edelman and we also got Dr. PhD. Everybody hates Mott right after. Go ahead, Shadow.
Okay, generally speaking, you have to file a direct appeal within 14 days. That has in fact happened. So it's going to go back to the district court for them to consider whatever options are raised. Generally, you can't bring ineffective assistance of counsel on this first claim in Texas, but they'd be able to appeal anything that was raised during the trial or pre-trial setting. With that being said, that takes 3 to 6 months in order for them to even come to a decision, unless they make a snap decision, and usually that's a denial. But once it gets to that court, the panel of judges have to agree that, yes, this was either unconstitutional, unlawful, whatever the case may be. When it goes to a writ of habeas corpus, which would be the next step, which would be in about 3 years, that's where you can raise your 2255, your ineffective assistance of counsel, based on a lot of the issues that we're talking about in court. That actually goes to the United States District Court because it's a federal issue. It's, hey, my constitutional rights were violated within this state. That's how you handle that issue. So the first one's going to go to a district judge, most likely in the Eastern District of Texas. Most likely Crone, if I remember correctly. So, A, he's going to go through Crone. Crone's probably going to deny it. That's just how it works. He's going to appeal it, and it's going to go to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, where they're going to have a 3-panel judge decide on it first. An appeal follows, and then the full panel, all 7 judges, decide on it next. So it's about a 6-year process.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he need to open up that trash and throw his mic in there because it was horrible. His mic is horrible. I don't know if it's the static, but your mic is not good, Shadow.
I guess my only follow-up question then is, like, because it's in the US and because it's in Texas, is he more likely to, like, if his appeal is, like, granted, right? I mean, could he be acquitted off of this, or how does that work? Because usually in other countries, like the one that I live in, it's it's not a full out acquittal. Usually it's more of an adjustment, right? Like a reduced sentencing. But like in Texas in the appellate court, like if he's appealing it, could it be just like
First of all,
overturned? Or
Dave,
how does that work?
are you from Mongolia?
I am not. I'm actually, so I am from America. I have not lived in Texas. I've lived, I would say, about half of my life in different countries outside of the US. So
Okay.
I am not from Mongolia.
Okay.
So,
he got
your question.
Okay, go ahead.
To answer your question, so there's two options. First would be a new trial, right? The reason why he would get a new trial is because he had an ineffective assistance of trial counsel. His counsel was so ineffective. His counsel was so ineffective that it actually inhibited his rights to effective assistance of counsel, which is protected by the Constitution. So they would run the trial again, but they wouldn't be able to present any new evidence. So they couldn't charge him again because that's prosecutorial misconduct. What they'd be able to do, on the other hand, is they'd be able to pull like whatever witnesses there are, have a whole new trial. They're not going to do a Rule 20, so they're not going to a different court. It'll probably be a different judge, but not the same court.
Okay.
And ultimately, if he gets convicted at that trial again, he's likely to get less time because he has a new set of juries, and he's going to be able to present his defense again. One of the issues is his defense didn't file for self-defense. You can't just get a new trial. You can't just get resentenced because that changes your offense of conviction. I hope that answers what you're asking.
Yeah, it does. That's really all I had. So I'm just going to bounce out, but I appreciate you guys letting me come on. So thank you, gentlemen. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll still be listening in the convo.
And make sure you hit the like button and the share button on your way out. Diamond Dave, appreciate you.
Already did. Have a good one.
All right. Go ahead, Dr. Edelman. Then we got Dr. PhD. He gonna tell everybody how handsome I is.
Yeah, I just listening to it, like looking at the video. I guess some people had some magnifier glass, and they said that they seen something that they didn't see. You know what I'm saying? They got to look at. What I clearly saw was exactly what I believe happened. I believe that looking at that video, that young man was approached and he defended himself. I still believe it's self-defense. Now, we got grown people up here arguing with how you supposed to defend yourself. That's a whole different conversation. But what we really look at it is that threat came to him. And it just tells us, I really expect this out of white folks. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wasn't expecting this out of as many black people to be so quick to come to the white man rescue.
Damn.
And so, and I get a child lost his life.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the consequences. It's crazy. We want all the consequences for the victim, but no consequences for the bully. And it's just sad. It's sad how many black people caping for this situation, in my opinion.
Hey, Sharon, I need you to donate to me. Donate to my graham cracker fund.
You like that one? We unlocked Now, let me welcome into Dr. PhD. Everybody hates Mont, so you can tell everybody how handsome I is.
Sharon, the panel, how y'all doing?
Doing well.
Good.
So what is your thoughts? This new video, did it
almost got me in
confirm? Yeah, did it confirm your thoughts, or did it make you reconsider your position after seeing this video?
It confirmed my thoughts that I'm one of the only serious people on the internet, and I'm the most objective person on YouTube, and a lot of people full of shit. Because that video, right, didn't change anything, and it shouldn't have changed anybody who was on either side, right? We saw a kid go up and push another kid, and that kid pretty much jumped out of the tent, which I mean, got pushed out of whatever. He went out of the tent, and it just confirmed the story we heard from the beginning that somebody got pushed, somebody got stabbed, and then he ran to get towards an adult. Like that, it did nothing. I'm pretty sure it did nothing for the jury. It didn't benefit anybody. So I don't understand how anybody's position was changed, and I don't understand how anybody's position could have been solidified of like, oh, yup, I told y'all he was the bully, or I told y'all he just wanted to kill somebody. Both sides full of shit.
That's kind of
So,
the
Mom,
sentiments
what is
that
your
I had.
actual position?
Ooh,
So what's
good
my
question.
position?
Yeah.
As y'all not gonna like it, but I think my position is still very much in the middle, right? I would have liked personally, I think I would have liked him to get less time because he's a young man. So, ultimately I would have liked him to have something under, 10 years or under, because I think that I truly think that he made a mistake. I don't think that
Okay.
he's this serial killer murderer or YN people are trying to paint him out to be. I don't think that he's somebody who needs to be behind bars because it makes our society better. So I think he should have got a lot less time in my perfect world. However, he did kill somebody. He did kill somebody. He did kill another kid, and within reason, it's reasonable to understand how he just got pushed. We all got pushed before, right? He killed somebody. So I don't think
Say
35
delete,
years.
goddamn it. You're a new
We say?
YouTuber, goddamn. Say delete.
Oh, my bad. He deleted somebody. I don't think 35 years is like some railroad, right? I wanted something better. However, 35 years, it's not like I can't see the other point of view.
I can't see 35.
That was the
Somebody
best
first
non-answer
time.
I've ever heard.
Yeah, because he's still in the middle. He feel like he don't have enough
Yeah,
evidence to
that was
go
all around the
left or
board,
right.
Mark. He was all around in a circle. That wasn't giving us something particular. But you're usually like that on panels anyway. You're usually in the middle. You're usually like that. So I get it.
Can't nobody give me an ironclad case of why this is like bona fide self-defense. And I don't think anybody on the other side can give me an ironclad case of why, somebody should be allowed to put their hands on somebody else in Texas, where we know the status quo is a little bit like they're a little bit more aggressive than other places when it comes to self-defense. So it just is what it is.
Here's my question. What happened to the bag? Didn't Austin grab that bag and snatch it away from Carmelo? What happened to the bag? He would not have ample time to grab that weapon out of the bag and start stabbing people. So what happened to the bag? And what happened to the knife? That knife had no blood in it. 2 inches. You stabbed me within 2 inches, and that knife was 3.5. If I'm a how do I say it, Sharon? I can't say the M word. So what's the proper word that I can say? Let's just say I'm just gonna say M. If I'm an M word, right? And if I really wanted to hurt somebody, I'm stabbing you the whole 3.5. That was only 2 inches. And then run away to my coach, and then confess. First of all, the young man didn't even know his rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. If you do not have an attorney, one will be provided for you. So that's my question.
When were those announced to Carmelo?
Huh?
When you just announced? You just said the Miranda rights. When was Carmelo given his Miranda rights? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you also know when he would have heard the Miranda rights before that point?
No, that's what he's saying.
Right.
He's
No one.
saying either his parents should have coached him on that, or the coach that was there should have told him, "Hey, don't say nothing." Somebody should have told him that. Is what We Unlock is trying to communicate.
Y'all are talking about a bunch of people who are not out there like that. Sean, you know to tell
We
people
can't.
that because you've been
I
out
can't
there.
hear what you're saying.
Shadow, we can't hear you. Yeah,
Can
maybe
you
you're
hear me?
blocking the microphone. Yeah, now we can hear you.
But keep in mind, Sean, you would tell people that because you know about that, right? I would tell people because I know about that. If his parents are not the type of people who even know anything to do with the law, which according to their history, they don't, why would they teach him to do something they didn't expect him to do?
Oh no, Shadow. I'm not saying that it's the child's fault because he didn't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all because 90% of your kids don't even know the law.
90% of grown people. I've been on the streets.
90% of grown people don't even know the law.
People don't
I had to learn it
Yeah.
because I was in the streets. They didn't know it, bro. You know what I'm saying? People was
know.
running down to you talking about you loitering. What you doing over here? You know, you have to learn some laws. A lot of people just don't know the laws. They're very ignorant to the law. That's just a fact, bro.
Phil James, if I was a prosecutor, I would see this as an easy case. And if I was the defense, without Melo taking the stand, you as a lawyer have to explain it through other means. I absolutely think they should have put Karmelo on the stand, let his ass cry it out. That might have changed everything. Kim West, thank you so much as well. I would never forgive y'all for letting Shadow be the only black man on the right side of this.
Wait,
Shout out
Sharon's
to
on our
Phil
side.
James. Shout out to Phil James supporting both sides. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you. Also, let me welcome into the show 651 Mint. How you doing? This new video that is released as evidence, did it change your perspective, or did it make you reconsider your original position?
It didn't change. And I watched it. I watched the TikTok version and another version that somebody else put on. Again, it didn't change anything. I just think this was a case of a kid fight or scuffle that just got out of hand. I don't think Karmelo was intending to kill him. I just think it just happened. And I'm gonna say this again. That weapon not supposed to be at a school event, even though it was a school ground, it was a school event. Everybody kept saying it was a tool. That was a weapon. It was a knife. You can say multi-tools, you can say that because it had a little can opener or whatever, but why do you even have that? Unless he forgot that he had it in his bag. Like they say, a lot of kids in Texas have that knife and he probably forgot he had it in the bag. But apparently he didn't because he said, touch me again. Did they overcharge him? Yeah, 34, I think it was, 20, 25, 15, 20, 25, however you want to say, would have been fair. I think the parents should have, show forgiveness, pray with the father, like play the political game at that point, and I think they turned it into racial and made the shit even worse. So it's an unfortunate situation, but to answer your question, no, it didn't change anything. When I was looking at that, I was looking at was he being jumped? Because when I first heard this case, they said he would get stumped down, jumped, and it doesn't appear to. You couldn't really see nothing, but some people say they changed the video and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know what to believe about this case anymore. But from the video that CNN, Fox News, it was all the same video. It didn't appear as he was getting jumped. It was just a bunch of kids, teenagers being teenagers. You can call it bullying or scuffling that just got out of hand. And I still think he had the right to be under the tent, even though it wasn't the right school. I mean, kids be under different kids' tents all the time at different school functions. I just think how the whole thing was handled, it was just a bad situation overall.
Sean, can I say something?
Absolutely.
When I think about it, and at this point, I definitely, when I process it more, I definitely think 35 years wasn't too much, based on the
You said
response. It wasn't too much,
was it?
based on the response from his parents, right? Because we got to forget, we forget
Hold on.
that
You
it's
said
two
was
sides.
it or was? I'm
Wasn't.
missing that.
Was not.
Was not. Based on the response from his
Wow.
parents, and I'll tell you why. Because there's always two people involved in these cases, right? Of course, one side is like, one perspective is he's a kid, I don't think he meant to kill him. But the other perspective that needs to be taken into account is that somebody had a child taken from them, right? So that's the other thing that we put into account. Now, I think that it's extremely important to weigh the remorse in these situations in general in life. Weigh the remorse that somebody step on your shoe. Okay, you can say that person can be sorry, or that person can keep it moving and say fuck you, right? So I think that plays into how you respond and what you want for that individual. If somebody did something to my son and I saw pain in that person's eyes that they really didn't want to do it and they're trying to make it right with me, that's different than, if I don't hear any of that from that person and they just trying to protect their ass and they like, do your best in this case. I'm gonna do my best in this case regardless. From that perspective, if I was the parents, I want them under the jail, right? So I think that's a reasonable argument.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike? It's not just about the parents, you know what I'm saying? I think that comes back down to Karmelo himself, you know what I mean? If he's able to testify to that remorse. He's able to put us in his mindset, put the jury in his mindset, put the family in his mindset, because even that family still have questions in their mind. Even though we heard the story, they still wondering, why did he do it? Why did you do it? What were you thinking in your mind? And I think that him speaking, even though at the time I was like, I don't think he should go up there because that prosecutor was cooking and it probably chopped him up on the stand. But still in all, the best thing would have been for him to speak for himself, because you quit all questions, all doubt, and you're able, even if you don't get to get off your testimony where you want to, you're still able to express that remorse of there at the time or after, or how you feel right now after going through this whole ordeal for a year before you got to this court to say, listen, man, I'm sorry for your loss. I didn't intend for that. You know what I mean? So you're able to do that. So I just think that he not testifying also like cut his hands off at the wrist right there. I think him not testifying, and it's still question that we all have, and that's why we're all here questioning it right now. Everybody's questioning it still, and we still all have these questions based on that same thing. You know what I mean? So if he spoke, I think he could express his remorse himself, and maybe he doesn't get 35. Maybe he doesn't. You know what I mean? Maybe you get to see the kid in him. Maybe you get to see those things. You know what I'm saying? That he's a child and it's just something that happened in the spur of the moment and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I just think
I
it's bad.
always seen him as a kid, just how he handled the situation, because he was crying and he said, because he touched me. That's kid talk. Like, why do you hit him? Because he touched me. I always seen him as a kid.
Y'all are crazy that y'all believe this young black man should have got on a jury in front of all them white folks. Y'all listen.
Exactly.
I see this all the time. Kids done got on the stand, and the little girl that just stabbed her boyfriend down here, she got 18 years. She got 18 years for stabbing her boyfriend. Now it wasn't on school ground, but she got 18 years down here in Miami. They still talking about the case over here.
Little black girl, right?
No, it was a black girl.
That's what I said, little black girl, right?
Yeah.
A black girl.
And how long? But how many black people was on her jury? 651.
I don't know that. I can't tell you that. But
that's what I'm saying. Like this idea that y'all think that these white folks and like I said, I'm not taking the stand that I hate white folks, because I love white folks too, right? But the group of these group of jurors that was on there had already made a decision he was guilty before this case even started.
You just saying that.
Go ahead.
We all thought he was guilty. We
You're
didn't know.
just saying that.
We didn't know what was going on.
The boy is not guilty. Boy is not guilty of anything. Point blank. Period. End of discussion. You just want to see another brother underneath the jail, and it's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. And this is the reason why I asked you, Sharon, and I asked you in the first place. should I, at this specific point in time, hate white people? And I asked you that specific question for a specific reason. You answered it for me.
But you got to expand your
you
mind.
answered it for me truthfully.
Yeah, I did.
I
But we got to
answered the
expand our
question for
minds,
you.
right?
Now
I
you
just want to say
shouldn't
one thing
hate
that we
white
unlock.
folks.
One thing that you unlock, right? But it's not just white people, right? Because out of the whole 18, which is the jury and the backup, there's 5 white men, 5 white women, 2 Middle Eastern women, 1 Middle Eastern man, 4 Asian women, and 1 Hispanic woman.
And they're all classified as what?
Jury back and
No, they're
the
not
main
classified
jury.
as white.
That was, I'm just saying that's what the whole
they're all
jury.
classified as what?
Whatever you want to
Let's not
classify.
go.
I'm
Let's
just
not get into
expand
that.
your mind.
Did you see any black people on that jury?
No, I'm not saying. I agree with you totally. I agree with you totally. But there were also some Hispanic people there, Asian people in that thing too, and some Middle Eastern people in that thing too as well. You know what I mean? Whether you classify them, whatever you want to classify them as.
Right. He just said that just keep it to the exact what is actually happening, because people would try to use that and say that we're not being truthful, right? So just keep it, 100, because people would try to use that as a way.
Oh, you don't want me to keep it 100 with you, Sharon. You do not.
Mr. Wall Nation, you act like black people are overwhelmingly saying Karmelo is innocent. This shit is like 50-50 or 60-40. It's not all. If you have black people on that jury, he still might not walk, because not all black people agree with what he did. That's what
I believe you in that regard, because we got too many coons. We got too many coons walking around.
You can call it what you want it, but I can probably say, from hearing on different panels and all of it, so it's split 50-50 or maybe 60-40.
Damn. Let me read the super chat real quick. What's that? Navalo Brown. Hey guys, I don't believe he died from the stab wound. They won't even let you see the autopsy. I believe he had drugs in his system. Damn.
They also brought up the heart. They also brought up an image of the heart in the court. They brought up an image of the heart. The chest wound. Sharon got the images of the chest wound itself and what that was. And the heart was in bad damage. You know what I'm saying? So it was in a bad state though. His heart was in a bad state. Just to let you know.
Okay.
And nothing to do with drugs.
Let me also welcome into the show, KT the GOAT. What is your thoughts after the video is exposed? KT the GOAT, did it confirm your original thought, or did it make you reconsider your position? Decision,
but yeah, nah.
Position. I meant to say.
Yeah, no, but nah. I think it's just the same. I mean,
Okay.
The boy was innocent. It was over jailing. Railroading is what we call it in the streets, where they throw a lot of charges at you, get you a whole bunch of time or whatever. But I think the main thing I got to say is, even without the video, it didn't change my mind, because I stand on the same grounds of everybody can make the arguments of like what he should have done. What we can't do is act like what the white boy shouldn't have done is not put his hands on him. That white child is of no authority. People can make the argument down to their team, 10, whatever. They are not officials of the school. I just don't understand why people are trying to make this about what Karmelo should have done instead of about how the white boy came off and shit.
He should have just left. You should have just went to security.
If they was black twins, would y'all been saying the same thing?
Yes, because they would have been out of pocket too.
Yeah, bro, I think the question is, would y'all be saying the same thing if those are black
This shit
twins?
happened at every black school.
That's such escapism. That is so escapism.
I'm a
That's
coon.
some bullshit, bro.
I'm the reason why the black community is fucked up, and I'm a coon.
You keep trying.
I've been told.
No,
I'm not on
you're
code.
putting on the road.
I'm not on code. That's what I get. I'm not on code. I'm gonna keep it a bug.
I think you're playing.
Don't make any sense to me.
I think you're playing a role, because keep in mind, last week I put you in a corner where I actually asked you to think about it, and then you ducked and ran. But again, KT just asked the same question, and again, you did not answer it. So now I'm going to answer you it one more time, Ronald. You're saying Carmelo Anthony was wrong for defending himself. I'm
That's not
asking you
wrong,
now.
Shadow.
That's not
Oh,
wrong.
who's that? Who the fuck is that?
Mitch.
65.
That's
All right,
651.
651. Fuck it, man.
That's
I
cousin.
look
Nah, just
even
playing.
worse. That's I thought y'all were cousins. But so I'm gonna ask you right now: was Austin Metcalf in the right to put his hands on Carmelo?
No, he should have defended himself, but it's not required deadly force.
Wait a minute.
Every
Wait, where are you
Hold on,
from?
60,
Wait,
60,
wait,
65. You can let him
Mitt, hold
let
on.
him ask you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Florida, nigga.
Okay, so get this.
Damn.
Do
That's
you agree that
$2.
Texas law
I
and
got
Florida
you.
law are different?
It's similar. I'll stay your ground.
Similar,
Somewhat different.
but different, right?
Somewhat different. Somewhat different.
Are they different? Are they?
I'm not
Are they
familiar
purple?
with I'm not familiar with Texas, but from
Yes,
what I
they
heard,
are different. They're not the same.
I am familiar with Texas law. I hear
this
what
was
you're
a school
saying.
event, bro.
I hear what you're saying, but again, I ask you, it was a school event. You keep making excuses for Austin, so I'm canceling your excuses now.
Which you
It was a
should not
school
do.
event. It was a school event. So why didn't Austin go get somebody with the authority to remove him instead of coming up like Debo?
Wait, why the fuck? Why in the hell would you be? You know what?
Yeah, he could have done that. He could have done that. Austin also could have swung, used his fist, or walk away.
Whoa. Okay, hold up. Now let me tackle you one more time.
Well,
Thank you for going
Carmelo
down the
should have
lane
did
for me. Hey, look, trust me, I know how to beat this conversation. Number two, so if he would have swung off on Austin, his
Carmelo
twin brother
should've-
Hunter, hold on, if Carmelo would have swung off on Austin, I'm making sure we're tracking.
Yeah.
Austin's twin brother Hunter was within 2 feet. Are you saying Hunter would not have jumped in?
Possible.
High probability.
We
How
don't know.
Wait, they're twins. So you're saying? So hold on. So So does Florida have equatable force laws?
Yes, you can. Yes, bro.
Wait, hold up. What does that even mean? What does that mean?
Because you can't make an assumption and use deadly force. That's what it means.
No, that's
You're
how
still
you
on
don't
deadly
understand
force.
what you're saying.
Yes.
That's how
I can't. I
Why?
can't.
I
Why
know
are you
deadly
still on?
force. I can't use
Shadow.
deadly force off of
Shadow,
assumption.
get him, Shadow, please.
Trust me.
Please.
So let me explain to you why everything you just said was wrong. Because everybody keeps saying he should have fought. Bet if Carmelo would have punched Austin, Hunter would have stomped him out. It's called a cowboy stomp. We do them in Texas all the time. Literally, you fight my homie, I'm gonna fight you. And then we're all gonna jump you. Factual statement. So with that being said, the probability of serious bodily harm was increased. Include that with Carmelo's medical history, and then there is a serious risk of serious medical harm or death based on his seizures history. With those two being said, he would have been protected. He would have been protected by unequated force in Texas. Had his lawyer made the same argument I just made, he wouldn't be in jail today because Texas law protects him. And I
That's a
guarantee you,
possibility.
I can find the same thing in Florida. You just don't know the law. I know the
Phil
law
James.
because I break the law.
Goddamn, that was
Most people don't
crazy.
beat their
Phil
stage ground. A
James.
lot of people don't beat their stage grounds in Florida.
Phil James, they would never allow assuming in court.
Yep, that was my point, Shadow. I can't.
But you're-
I was
wait,
trying to
no,
make an example.
you're
I
assuming.
can't- We just
No,
had a
let him
situation
respond, let him
where
respond.
dude pulled out his gun on 95 because he thought the guy had a gun and he shot up the car and they ended up charging the guy for shooting. You can't assume shit.
They got him for negligent homicide. They got him for negligent aid, not M1. Different offense. Thank you for proving my
Argument.
point.
I'm not arguing the fact that y'all getting confused. I'm not arguing the fact that they overcharged him. I repeatedly say they overcharged Carmelo. I never argued that Carmelo intentionally did that. Y'all getting confused.
I never
Then-
said Karmelo was. Hold on. I never argued that Karmelo was a bad kid. I never argued that. I never argued that white supremacy doesn't exist. I never argued that. I never argued that the legal system is not fair against black men. I never argued that. I said, yo, the kid made a mistake. I don't think he intentionally did it. It was a scuffle that shouldn't lead to death. We can all agree on that. Especially
So
at
do
a
you
school
believe-
event. Hold on.
Do you-
Especially at a school event. If I put somebody at school that doesn't on school grounds, because y'all want to be technical, what a school ground, with a school event, that should be deadly force. It's a school event.
If I punch you
At a school, you gotta say school event.
if I
It don't
punch
matter at a
you,
school thing.
listen to me. If I punch you, because your hands are considered deadly weapons, right?
Jesus Christ.
Because it says in the state of Texas, your hands are considered deadly weapons, right, Shadow?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so if I punch, I'm Karmelo Anthony. Let's just assume with my 130-pound ass that I punch. Yes, he was 135 pounds. I'm not going to even argue. I'm not going to even argue that. I'm not going to even argue. 5'8", 135 pounds, soaking wet. And if I hit a 6'2", 212-pound linebacker, let's just assume that I hit him and he drops and he hits his head and he gets drama from his head and he dies. Would the outcomes be any different?
Yes, if he would have took a pencil or anything beside a knife that's not supposed to be on school grounds, yes, the outcome could have been different. Yes.
This is why I
You
gotta
just
step
making
in
stuff
because you
up.
being you trying to like you keep making a situation that ain't there about things that don't matter. Listen, whether or not you're at a school grounds, hold up. School grounds do not precedent law. It doesn't overrule law. That's the thing. Point blank period.
But you didn't want to use them tonight. You want to use hands, right?
Do you understand that?
You wanted to use his hands, right?
That's wrong at school,
you wanted him to use his hands, right? Y'all was bitching and moaning that he used the knife. He should have used his hands. If he would have used his hands, it would have been possibly the same outcome due to him being in the state of Texas. Am I not right?
No, you're right. Either way, it would have still been a deadly weapon. Okay.
I'll rest my case.
I never said nothing about it. I believe he should have got both.
No,
of them. But again,
I'm listening to you.
Goddamn.
I'm listening to you because you actually study law. I'm listening to you.
So we just gonna have to disagree and disagree to agree. Y'all, I'm gonna pray for Karmelo. Y'all put money on his books. I hope he get appeal, and it is what it is.
Why the fuck would you want to have a young black 17? You wanted to try him at 17. You wanted to give him life at 17 years old.
I never said that. I never said that.
I
clearly
don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit. You wanted to give him life in prison.
I clearly said they overcharged him. I said that. They overcharged him.
Oh, this is my thing, right? I just feel like as black people, it makes sense to pick our battles, right? It makes sense to when we're going to have a community outcry. It makes sense that be. Hold on, I got you, right? So we're looking at a case where a boy got pushed, and then he stabbed somebody else and then he stabbed that other boy with a knife, right? And y'all want to act like it's not even reasonable that this is a murder case, right? Y'all want to act like this not even reasonable? Like, that's where y'all lose me.
No, first degree murder isn't reasonable. Like, under no circumstance, first degree isn't. No, it's excessive if we're being honest. It's the reverse of what you're saying. It don't make sense.
Hold on. Reasonable reasonable means that can I see how somebody else can come to that conclusion?
Yeah,
you can't even
it's not
see.
reasonable.
You can't even see how
was shooting Cyrus in the back reasonable?
Let's do it one at a time. Let KT and
I'm asking the question sincerely. Was shooting Cyrus in the back reasonable?
I'm not too familiar with that. I'm not as familiar with that case as y'all are. But from the outside
shit.
looking, but from what I do know, it seems like that man should be doing time in jail. But I haven't looked into it like y'all looked into it.
Okay. But I'm with KT. I don't think M1 was reasonable in this case. It's not reasonable.
Manslaughter by all means, that's reasonable. When you talk about the kid is being like because murder one means like you have malicious intent to harm somebody, and basically like you're, you know what I'm saying. It really means a whole different parameter. We can clear as day see this is a situation that happened in the moment. I'm not saying what happened. The end result of the situation was okay. What I'm saying is the charge, because we're watching kids in a heated situation. Again, this kid is big, bro, with a twin and homies, and they all keep coming up talking about you gonna have to go. Again, they have no authoritative position. I don't know what world y'all came up in, but if another one of my classmates come up to me in high school and tell me to do anything, you got me fucked up. Cause nigga, who are you? You're not a teacher, bro. You ain't got no regulations here.
So, hold on. I want to ask you about the reasonableness. So you're saying, do I believe it's reasonable for them to have charged him? Of course, I believe it's reasonable that they did it. That doesn't make that reasonableness wrong. Just because they can do it doesn't mean they should have, because the facts of the case don't support why they did. Again, everything that led up to it, keep in mind, the government had to stretch their case during trial in order to even get that accurate picture out. And they had to ignore everything that actually happened. You're saying, am I able to see it? Yes, I can.
Hold on,
but what I'm saying is,
when we talk about M1, then I agree with y'all, because my understanding of M1 is that person set out that day to kill that person. From what I understand, I could be wrong. So M1 1,000%. If they're saying that he came to that track meet with the intention that he wanted to harm somebody, I completely disagree with that. I think that's crazy.
That's the argument that the government made.
Okay,
that's the thing.
Okay, he said he disagrees with it. We get somewhere. He said he disagrees with it.
Based on what I see happen, based on the video, I believe it was negligent age, because I believe even though he poked him, he did not intend to end him, and you know that based on his first two questions, and those two questions were testified to. The jury had enough information to assume, and again, that's what the jury has to do because they are not professionals at the law. But that was his counsel's responsibility to say, hey, you need to consider negligent age, not M1. If you're saying M1 is reasonable, that's when me and you have difference. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
I think anybody agree with M1 for black people.
Like, I'm just not as middle of the road in this.
So Charlie, he already conceded that after he accepted the new information, then he agrees that M1 is a little too excessive. I believe that's what he's saying now. Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, I don't agree with M1.
Yeah, so he don't agree with M1 anymore. At first he was saying it was reasonable, but now he understands why that's a little excessive. And that's all really the main argument is that M1 is too much.
Yeah,
that shit is.
But Sean,
it was more than just a push.
People are saying
more than just a push.
Also, people are saying that the M1 was responsible because his parents were acting out. His parents are not the one at trial.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not right.
His parents were not the one at trial.
That's crazy.
His parents can do whatever they want to do.
And I do want to point out,
show that he was concerned.
This whole case really exhibits the difference between us as black and white people in America, because like you said, people are trying to justify basically like his parents' action. I seen what's that kid name, the dirty one that had a dead rat using it for a alarm clock, Amish Gold. I watched him get up there talking about how like, see, this is why it's okay to be racist. You see how his parents are acting. Like, and this is word. Y'all can go watch the video. He said it like directly, straight up. See, this is why today and age it's okay to be racist, because look how they're acting when people get what they deserve for the things they do. And then that's what I'm saying. Now the whole thing is about how Melo's family is. His good black family, and no offense, not saying it like they above, just saying by all legal means, these are good bystanders, right? Then we got Austin Metcalf family who literally their family are literally people who were like the people with picnic pictures where they had black people hung and it was white people smiling in those pictures. His family members are literally those people. His dads literally came out and made racist comments. And we're not talking about their parents. We're not holding no judgment of that child due to how his parents act. None of that. It's just, yeah, this ain't right. You know, why people mad that he going to jail? He got what he deserved. Me personally, I'm speaking up because, like, if our children can't defend themselves, your grown ass is done for. That's just being 100.
But again, it's more than just a shove, as testified by witnesses inside the court. Okay, he grabbed him up. Okay, and it's a shove. So you grabbed him, put him in like a football move. That's what a witness testified to in court. That Austin was moving with a force towards him, knocked Eddie down out of his seat, and grabbed Karmelo and grabbed him up as well. So he also grabbed him up. So it's like a scuffle, grab him up, and maybe that push as well. So it's a little bit more than just, yo, you just push a person and they just react like that. It's a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit.
But Uda, even that would have been considered self-defense. Oh, sorry. I
agree with you, Shaq.
Freedom. The charges were due to racism. Black people, wake up! I do the Spike Lee.
The shit show.
You know,
So
Spike
here's
Lee
the
said
thing.
wake up in every movie.
Even in that scenario, most people would see it as that's a martial arts move because he intended to move his entire body by force. Football is still a self-defense maneuver. So get this. That means he was using a self-defense maneuver on someone in a position of dependency. He was sitting down. He had no room to be aggressive. And keep in mind, we are in 2025 when this happened, 2024. There had been how many school events happen? So when somebody said, hey, I've got something in my bag, and nobody decided to take that seriously, even though they have drills on it every month? Come on, bro.
But
Stop.
someone did take it seriously, Shadow. One of the kids told him, yo, chills. And I think he got something in his bag. And Austin responded to him, but he ain't got none. It's Frisco. So someone did take heed to that. That was there. One of the students did. They told
But Austin was a bully. He had a history of bullying.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't heed to the warning. He didn't heed to it.
And that's
Has that
they couldn't bring this up in trial.
But before KT go, Uda, I don't know if you know, is that something that was brought up in a court case? Is that something that is proven that Austin was a bully?
Oh, I've heard some stories and some speculations of it. And I mean, I don't know what's really all the way confirmed with him being a bully. But yeah,
Y'all
they
just saying shit again.
That means that way that they say that he was they said that he was even, you know, before the meet, he wasn't supposed to be at the meet before that. Like he was like kind of like, I don't know if suspended from the meet, but
no, he was suspended. He was participating in shot put. I looked
you
that
see what
up.
I'm saying? So it's other things like that to go toward maybe his mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also mindset. Yeah, his character and his mindset. Yeah, so some things that's alluding towards his character. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Go ahead, Ronald 804. Oh, KT? KT then Ronald 804.
Nah, let Brian go. My bad.
Like I said, man, we investigating off of TikTok again, where we have no idea if something is true or false, and we just saying it just to match our narrative.
People that was in the court.
No,
I don't watch no TikTok.
No,
I have 5 people at the court. So I'm talking about people that was at the court, not legacy media news that want to tell you whatever story they want to tell you. So during this whole trial, I was talking to the people that I know that cover trials, and they talking to me about what they're hearing from in the court, and this is what we talk about. So I'm talking about only things that I'm hearing from inside the court and what was testified in court. So that's where I speak from. I don't really speak from no opinion-based thing. I really just speak on based on try to just give you back some facts of what I've heard from people inside the court. So that's where I speak from. You know what I mean?
Did they say in the court that Austin was a bully?
I didn't hear it like that. I told you I didn't hear it. I just told you that. I didn't hear
exactly.
it.
So you just telling me that you speaking from what you heard in the court and they didn't say anything like that, right? We've heard all kind of stuff. We heard Austin broke his daddy's arm and all kind of stuff.
Hold on. This goes to show people just want to hear things, whatever they want to hear. The question was asked: is there any kind of confirmation that he was a bully? The man said no. There's no confirmation to it.
He said in court, straight exactly too. You know what I'm saying, Ronnie? You just ready to defend your man's type joint. Take the cape off, brother. It's okay. That's what I'm saying. Instead of y'all saying sometimes I'm wrong somewhere, some part, y'all got a problem with that. That's why y'all don't be growing, and why a lot of things is lack of development. You an elder, my G. It's all right to be like, yeah, I seen the video. Nah, I ain't even gonna lie. You don't gotta change your opinion fully, but you can literally just sit there and be like, nah, all right, they did overcharge him. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that. What you're gonna do is go harder and think that double down and makes you right somehow. Like, bro, take this time to grow, my G.
Grow, Negro. Shoot. Anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. What I don't like is the misinformation on both sides.
Joe. Why don't you apologize
right?
for being wrong? First of all, you're a grown man. Apologize for being wrong. You were just wrong.
So you never said that Austin was a bully.
Rewind the tape, sir. Rewind
so no. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Ronald, we just confirmed. So I wanted to make sure you understand that. No, Uda answered the question and said no. That man was not confirmed to being a bully. Literally, what happened?
I swear, I heard him. I thought he heard. He said. I thought.
And again, you put all the weight on a young man or what a young man supposed to do, but you're a grown man. You can't do what a grown man supposed to do.
Okay, Uda, if you never said that Austin was a bully, I apologize. All right. I don't like all the misinformation, even when it comes to the Karmelo Anthony side. They was like, people were saying, oh, they took the money and bought another house and all kind of stuff. So there's misinformation on both sides, and it's both wrong. Right? We have to wait.
We cleared that up too. Stop money the was for no reason, bro.
What? How muddy the water?
You muddy in the water for no reason. That part been cleared up long time.
Yeah, there's misinformation on both sides, and that is not good. That's not good for anybody.
You're the only one spreading misinformation.
So people wasn't talking about that on the internet.
We corrected those things when people. Anybody that said that on this show it's been corrected. You're the only one is pushing out misinformation on the show. I cannot hold somebody else accountable that didn't happen on my show.
All right. So like I said, that's the reason why I don't jump on here all the time, because I wanted to get more information before I speak about things. But I know you got a show to run and stuff like that. So sometimes misinformation don't come out, but as long as you clear it up, that's good.
Yeah, but you keep saying misinformation when you talking about a different show.
Okay.
He talking about TikTok. He ain't even talking about it.
You talking about TikTok, bro?
TikTok.
No, but for a while,
I don't watch TikTok, bro. I don't watch it, bro.
But like I said before, we got to be honest. People was for a long time. People were saying he had something to clean his cleat. It wasn't a knife.
People wear.
Right?
People wear on this show.
Oh, man, you argued about this last year. I told you it was a knife. He was like, no, it was something to clean his cleats. Right? We argue about a lot of stuff, and all of a sudden now you forgot about it. It's okay. It's okay if you can't remember that you were wrong. It's okay.
No. So this is why I'm saying you muddy in the waters. When we first got the case, we was discussing the information that we had at the time, and as time moved along, we got new information. Normal people, they change their position when they get new information, but they got other people, they just want to be stuck in their position. No matter what information comes out, they say, no, this is what it is, and that's it. That is the difference. So yes, at first it came out that it was some kind of cleat cleaner or some shit like that. And then later on, it came out was a knife. And then it was a 3.5-inch knife. And so as we got more information, things changed the scenario as we gathered new information. Simple and plain. But don't say it was misinformation. That was the information at the time.
Yeah, that's a fact. So now it's a knife, and the defense pushed that it was a multi-purpose tool. So that's where we're at today. The defense pushed it as a multi-purpose tool. Prosecution put that as the knife. We understand that tool, whether it's multi-purpose or not, it has a knife in it that's 3.5 inches, and we know that for a fact. Those are facts.
And it's also a very thick knife.
It's a knife. I would say it's
it's not like a little skinny knife.
Okay, we agreed. We agreed. Move forward.
I agree.
You don't gotta reiterate it. We understand. We agree.
It was enough to take a life, so we get it. Period.
Yeah, unfortunately. So
Boy.
I don't even have no coffee
you
this morning.
you got a
You take
question?
that coffee. You take that
No,
coffee.
we don't have no questions for a disingenuous person.
Nah.
Welcome to the show. While you gather up your thoughts, Ronald. Welcome to the show. Questions to ponder. After seeing the video, questions to ponder, the new evidence. Do you change your position, or did it confirm your position after seeing the new video?
Oh, absolutely not. The same as before. 100% the same as before. Karmelo, 100% in the wrong. It is very sad what happened to Austin. Very, very sad. And what's even more disturbing is that the number
You are
of
a devil.
these
You are a
Hold
devil.
on.
You're a
Don't
devil.
interrupt, please. Don't interrupt, please.
Let
Go
her live,
ahead.
yeah.
and the
Let
number
her
of
finish her
these
thought.
faux
Let's attack the people's thoughts, not the person. Go ahead. Questions upon them.
And the number of these faux YouTube attorneys, if Karmelo had any of these attorneys, he probably would be serving 99 years right now. There's a number of things that, yes, we wish could be done differently, but I will just say this. Collin County, and I actually said this sometime last year, if they had changed venue, if there was a change of venue, they really should not have tried this case, because I will say this, Sharon, it will not be surprising if this case is overturned on appeal. Many of you are not familiar with Collin County, and they really should have changed this venue. They do not have there's a lot of issues with these people. If this was either tried in, let's say, Dallas, or even crazy, yes, like Harris County, Houston, to kind of remove any shadow of a doubt, then more than likely he still would have been found guilty. And maybe, I don't believe at all he was going to manslaughter. Definitely not criminal negligence. What happened, and
You
it
think he
happened
would have had a trial
accordingly.
with all
And
white people, with majority white people in Houston or Dallas?
even if he was in Dallas,
Yo,
I still
please
believe
stop.
he would have been found guilty.
Yo, please stop.
Even with the population in
And question
Dallas,
upon that. When you say
yes, Sharon.
guilty, you mean guilty of M1?
Yes, absolutely. In Dallas, absolutely, because I think what a big issue is that many people, even the other person, the Sonic the Hedgehog or Shadow, if you are not from Texas, especially if you're not from Dallas, there's just a different culture. And what happened to Austin, Carmelo's choices that were made, maybe it flies in other states like Louisiana. It definitely is not going to fly in Texas, not DFW, and certainly not in Collin County in Frisco. It's just not going to happen. So some people, yeah, I live in Frisco. You can live there. Maybe your children go to school there. But if you personally did not graduate high school, you yourself in DFW, if you don't have decades spent, if you did not go to school in Dallas, like there are many attorneys on YouTube, a few I can name, but in respect to your channel, who are familiar with this culture, who are familiar with this Collin County, Dallas, DFW culture. They all knew it was going to happen. Furthermore, he actually was given a plea. It was 40 years. Prosecution said nothing less than 40 years. Nothing
Slap the
less
taste
than
out of your mouth. I'd like to see it.
Damn.
Thank the Lord.
Oh, Lord. Shout out to Kim West. Questions? Let's see. And then how you gonna leave? Where'd she go? She said, I'm done. I don't even. She said, I'm done. That's all I wanted to do. Oh, there she go. Welcome to the show, Kim West. Go ahead, my Tourette's homegirl. What's your thoughts? You're on mute, by the way, Kim. Yes.
Oh, hello. You gotta get the demons out of here. You gotta get the demons out of here.
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
I think I have
After
an
seeing
echo.
this,
Hold on.
okay, while you check out your echo, and it's $20 to bring questions upon the back if anybody want to bring her back. Kim West, after seeing the video, did it confirm your idea, or did it make you reconsider your position in this court case? Kim West. Echo baby. My Tourette baby.
Is my mic okay? Am I
Sound good.
echoing?
Yeah, nah, you good.
Sound
You're
good.
My position is I was I was steadfast and waiting for evidence and facts and things like that. So I didn't have an initial position a year ago. But as you said, Sharon, as the facts and evidence came out, I developed a position, and this video confirmed my position that it was self-defense. I didn't just jump out like people like say, oh, because he black, you jumped out and said it's just innocent black boy. I didn't know what was the case initially. And I didn't think because it was a black guy and a white guy, or a black child and a white child, that, oh my gosh, this innocent little white child, because a lot of us like to say the black man is the devil, apparently, according to everybody. But no, it was clearly self-defense in my opinion. And what I really want to know, I got two things I want to know. Where's the testimony about the snatched bag? Not one, well, we don't know the exact testimony, but out of all the media, the legacy media, the white media, the black media, not one of them has talked about the snatched bag. And reasonable doubt, which I guess people are saying in other words, but with all this Eddie line and everybody having different accounts of what happened, and literally nobody seeing the stabbing, according to, we don't know exactly what was said in court, but according to every media outlet, not one witness has testified to seeing the so-called pokey poke. I have reasonable doubt. Me as the outsider looking in, it's at least a reasonable doubt. And I think that some people are not really raising up that whatever you think, I think it's a reasonable doubt though. And I land.
Shout out to Kim West. Big Swole is correct.
Yeah, I think Hunter said that himself, talking about the bag and the snatching of a bag or some stuff like that too. I think he spoke toward that when he was speaking on it from the very around the beginning of the times of the case. I think somebody else alluded to that too as well, but I can't really remember really with that. But I'll fact check on that about the bag and what happened with the bag, because I have been hearing a lot of things about the bag too as well.
Yeah. It was said in two separate interviews, at least two separate interviews that I saw.
That that's something that was said outside of court for a fact. Hunter. Yeah, Hunter. I know that Hunter said that.
So my question is to all the doubters: Did Hunter lie on himself and his dead twin? If I'm in the throes of controversy, I say, "Oh, my brother grabbed the bag." Where did I get that from? Where would I get that from if I'm making it up? Why would I say that? What would be my motivation to say, "Oh, he grabbed the bag" multiple times? Oh, he grabbed the bag. Yet not one witness, again, we weren't in the courtroom and we can only go off of quote unquote secondhand information, but not one, even if we go to white media, black media, Nick and everybody, none of them is mentioning this grab bag that Hunter himself said happened multiple times.
Yeah, the defense didn't push it. The defense is a lot of things that the defense ain't push. You know what I mean? This is things that the defense should have been pushing bringing up, you know what I'm saying? I think that's why I said the defense is really lackluster. They wasn't really pushing certain things into the jury's mind or even putting things on the record for us to even know that was on the record and we could discuss it. They wasn't pushing. And they only called like what, 6 witnesses or so. You know what I'm saying? So I think that really comes down to the defense to really push that line and bring these things up inside the court and bring it up in front of the judge. You know what I mean? And I still don't think that the defense really did that. You know what I mean? I don't know why they didn't, but it was just a shoddy
I
defense.
think it is up to the
me-
defense,
And
but I think
hold on,
it's
Kim.
highlights a flaw. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
651 Mint. My bad, bro, for cussing on your show. No doubt. Thank you so much, 651 Mint. Appreciate you. Go ahead, Kim.
I think it highlights a flaw. Why people saying they didn't pay enough, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. It's supposedly every attorney's literal legal obligation to present the best defense possible. Now, if you have financial restrictions, sort of like I can't pay for DNA evidence, I can't pay for something of that nature, okay. But this is free witness testimony that you failed to exploit. And I don't think that falls upon, well, because you paid $100,000 versus $600,000. Now that's why the attorney didn't ask particular questions. That's asinine. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. It's like, well, you know, if you want your attorney to ask particular questions that are completely free of charge, you should just pay more money. Does that make sense to anybody?
No, but you do get what you pay for, they say. But no, I think that you should represent your clients, you know what I'm saying? But I think that you never know what kind of pressure everybody could have been under, because even if they say witnesses was changing from statements and testimonies and different things like that was going on, we don't know what anybody was dealing with on behind the scenes. People could have been getting threatened behind the scene with some racial, all kind of things. We don't know. But it just seems like they was more ready to lose the case than win it. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like they was more trying to throw the case. It just seemed like
You
they threw the
don't
case.
know, but that's not an argument for
No.
it's not an argument for. Think about it. They're saying, well, you know, he lost the case because the parents weren't giving out enough money. That's not an argument for,
No.
you know what I'm saying, justice, so to speak.
No. But
Like,
Bobby,
because you
if
didn't have
you
enough
win,
money, you couldn't afford to get justice.
what happens to you, you know? So people could have been probably thinking about on the back end.
Right.
There you go.
Shout out to Phil James. The court released all the evidence, correct? Is that correct, Uda?
No, it's not correct. That's not correct. That's not correct at all.
Some things wasn't brought in, but that's up to the defense to bring up because the prosecution's proven their side of the case. So as far as what the prosecution wanted to bring up, yeah, that all went down. But I think the defense could have did more to highlight a lot more things.
No, but what he's saying, did the court release all the evidence?
Oh, as far as I have the whole thing, I sent to Sharon. Yeah, they sent prosecution photos, defense photos, body cam footage, and multiple camera angle view of the track. That's what they released.
Okay, Uda, since you tapped in, have they released the official trial transcripts?
No, the transcripts haven't been. I'm supposed to be getting them. I've been in contact with some people down there.
Okay, so
as well. I've been waiting. I'm checking my email again. I've been waiting for the transcripts. I ain't gonna hold you. I've been waiting, son. Straight.
All right.
So Ronald finally got some. Ronald got some help. Finally got some help. Welcome back to the show, Cam. Good day, Cam.
What up, though? I know I was helping Ronald. What he do?
He's saying the same nonsense you saying with no facts behind what he's saying. Just all feelings.
Yeah, I'm just right and use common sense. That's it. I'm guilty.
Yeah, I guess
I
we
feel
all
like
there.
them not releasing the transcripts is in the same vibes of they're pretending there's no cell phone footage. You couldn't pay me $1 million to believe not one person got nothing a video of that moment. You couldn't pay me $1 million to believe that.
Well, that doesn't matter. It's already
Does anybody believe that there's no cell phone footage?
It doesn't matter. We already have a video on the incident.
Well, we don't really have a
does
video
matter.
of it because if we have cell phone video evidence, that would be drastically different than this pixelated. We just see shadows moving
Right.
around video that we got.
And let's not forget, Mr. Eddie said he was pretending to record. He whipped his phone out, he propped it up, and pretended to record, according to the alleged so-called transcripts. So how does that? None of that makes sense. And I'm not saying everything got to make sense, but can we use common sense? Does that? If I'm a jury member, that's gonna give me reasonable doubt. That's what I'm saying. If I'm a jury member, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Eddie, bro, come on, bro. You whipped your phone out, and what are you talking about?"
It wouldn't give the jurors any doubt if they already seen the footage from the stadium and him admitting it on body cam that he did it. It doesn't change anything.
So do you
Wait,
think?
what did you just say?
So, but hold on, but nobody is saying that he didn't do it. I don't know why people keep saying him admitting that he stabbed the young man means something different from what we are talking about. Nobody is saying that Karmelo did not stab him.
No, Sharon, people are saying he didn't do it. They are saying he didn't do it. And people are saying he could have fell on the knife. He could have.
No, what I'm saying, Ken West, is that people can have a disagreement on why he did it, but we all believe that Karmelo had the knife in his hand and somehow it ended in Austin's chest. That's what everybody agrees with. Whether he fell on it and all that, the original knife getting into his chest before anything else happens because Karmelo had it in his hand. Nobody disagrees with that. So I don't know why people keep bringing up this whole idea that he said, "I did it."
I think I did it could mean a multiple things. Like I was in an altercation. Yeah, it was me in the altercation. I was present in I did it doesn't mean I murdered somebody. So I don't know why people are hanging their head on I did it, because if I am a participant in an altercation and I see it resulting in something extreme, I'm saying, okay, I was in it. I did it.
Yeah, I was in that situation, right? And I was the one who did X, Y, and Z, right? That's what he's saying. Not saying that, I am with him. That's not what he was saying. Those are two different things.
I feel you on that one. The only reason that I believe people are still saying that, because just like Miss West was pointing out, and a lot of people are still pointing this out, they're looking for more evidence to substantiate his innocence, which is not necessary because we know what happened already.
And also, he also asked the officer, "Is he okay?" So therefore, he didn't know that he did it in a fatal area.
Well,
he asked if he was okay.
I'm glad you brought it up because I did want to piggyback off of what Shadow said before he dropped off about Austin using a martial arts stance, kind of like the sumo shove. Him having the knife on him, it's a term, acronym MBC, Martial Basic Concept. It's the culmination of utilizing any form of knife fighting. The most common one, if you see somebody with a karambit, they're utilizing that fighting style with the knife. So him saying, "Touch me again, see what happens," he knew what he was going to do with that knife. But I will agree.
No. I can't. If you want to continue on with your soliloquy about he knew what he was going to do, this boy wasn't no trained martial artist. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he just was like, what is it, Naruto? And I'm trained, and I'm gonna stab you in the heart and disable you. Stop it!
Yeah.
What is wrong with y'all? Y'all That's why I came
Let
up
me
here.
explain.
Y'all really aggravated me. Because how y'all talking about, first of all, the
I can explain it.
Metcalf bullies, firstly, the Metcalf bullies were trained. Now, I don't know. This is internet, whatever. But supposedly the internet Metcalf bullies were taking classes and whatever they got to do. You know, just like they in football. Just like they in football, they taking martial arts classes, they doing whatever. Y'all like acting like Karmelo Anthony was a trained assassin that just came and precisely stabbed this boy in the heart.
I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Hey, Uda, they saying that he's a trained ninja. He ain't a regular ninja. He trained.
I don't know, bro.
Right here, he's a trained assassin.
Crazy, bro.
I can explain it though.
The football move, though, he did grab him up. They testified to that. You know what I mean? One of the witnesses testified that he did grab him up and try to put him in like this football move, though. So
they're both football players. He's used to that already on the field.
That situation all around.
Yeah,
that's
okay. So if one of them is smaller than the other one, and the other two, they're twins. They're twins. The boy said on the interview, my brother always protect me. Whenever I start a conflict, he roll up like the you know what I'm saying? Like
that's what
you never had a family member. You never had that from a family member before? No family member in your life who protected you?
It's Hunter Big Brother.
Hey, Cam. Hey,
first of all,
I got you, Kim. Cam, just to let you know. Hold on, Kim. Cam, just to let you know, Kim is the one they call when they need somebody to get touched. All right, so
she's making it's a false statement there. So what's the point? So what's the point there? Why bring that argument up?
Don't roll up on nobody if you ain't about that action.
Oh wow!
Hey, Uda, hold on. Hey, Uda, what was it saying back in the days? You run up, you get done up.
Done up, you get done up. That's a fact, bro. Run up, done up.
That was the talk of the town.
Because I'm definitely coming as the solid assassin. I'm definitely
shout out to PZ Ain't Going. Salute to PZ Ain't Going with the $10 super sticker. Thank you so much, PZ Ain't Going. I appreciate you, PZ. Always holding me down. Thank you so much. That's what happens, Cam. You run up, you get done up.
Period.
Hey, I feel it. Shoot, I feel the same way.
That's how it goes.
So,
you know what I mean?
How the?
Yeah.
That's not possible. It's not possible that you feel the same.
Get him.
Yeah, he ran up in that tent. He ran up in that tent, and they got up on him.
And
but that's where they could be saying that they was doing some bullying.
Got laid out.
So regardless,
it
was bullying Karmelo at the time.
So Cam, who did the running up? Who did the running up and who got the dunning up?
The white boys ran up on him. It's apparently to the video. We just seen the video. That's why the video is important. Hold on. That's why the video is. Let me calm down. Let me give me in my respectful tone. That's why the video is important. That's why the video is important. Because it shows them literally running up on him while he was minding his own black business.
Away from his team under someone else's team tent. Okay, we get it.
Why he was there? Okay, Cam.
Sir,
Cam.
a team tent is not private property.
Hold on. Why was he there?
From what they're saying, because his friend invited him over, but we really don't know that for certain.
We do know that for certain.